Good morning and welcome to today's live show. Today we will be live for the entire time that the market is open. All right, we'll be live for the entire time the market's open today. We're going to try to stream all the way into the end. I think it could be an interesting day. We do see lower implied volatility in the SPY and the Qs, but we're seeing some escalated implied volatility across the board when it comes to the individual names. Very, very interesting. It looks kind of bullish, doesn't it? It does look kind of bullish right now. And a lot of things can look bullish until they aren't. And we'll see if this can continue to get bullish. You know what I'm saying? And that's creative stuff here. I actually like that you're pointing that out because it's actually helping us understand where the line is going to be drawn. And the line is really going to be drawn with your indicators. If you go to sleep on Friday and you see that this MACD has not violated the divergences that we have created at this moment, then you have to be open to some kind of big drop come Monday. Now, that doesn't mean you can't position yourself in certain direction. It just means, hey, if I said this is going to curl up and I'm going to take some calls in here, hey, once I get to this point, maybe I sell a few of those contracts just in case something needs to pull back, right? Just in case there's some kind of 2-hour pullback. Now, I'm just going to tell you creative stuff here that I don't believe we're going to violate those divergences. I will be perfectly fine if that does violate those divergences and end up going to higher prices. It's just in order to really get bullish, you're going to have to start to take out some key things. And one of them is this MACD right here. And that's going to be very difficult to do. You know what I mean? So as of right now, I'm being very aware that there could be weakness here. If I get pleasantly surprised, I will play the direction that we're going at this moment, right? Trade with the trend. But we'll see what happens with that. One thing I did want to point out this morning was the fact that we are noticing that the SPY has headed up for a long time. And in here, we said that you might be in some kind of lie, right? We said this whole area here is some kind of lie because we have the 10-year yield going up, we have the dollar going up, and we have the SPY going up all at the same time. Well, if we go look at the dollar now, we notice that we exceeded the highs from November 11th and November 12th. And the dollar actually has dropped below the lows back from November 18th. And if we go back and look at November 12th, we look here, we're actually in those areas right now. So that would tell us that this might actually be shifting. Now, I want you to notice the correlation might be shifting from a positive one to a negative one right now, which is what we're looking for when that lie gets exposed, right? When the truth comes out, that means the dollar might head up, the yields actually might head up, and the stock market might head down. Or the dollar might head up, and we actually see TLT go up, and the yields actually come down and dollar go up while the SPY goes up. So we're going to see if this actually happens. You notice that on your chart, you do have a 2-hour divergence for the dollar. So that is saying, hey, I want to go higher. But I just want you to notice how it has dropped down now while the SPY has recently gone up, right? Recently gone up. So I think that's something to pay attention to. We could see that moment soon where we actually do see, holy crap, this is actually going back into a negative correlation with the dollar, and I think that's something we need to pay attention to. Doug TV, shoot it out there. I am going to mention something this morning, guys. You see on your screen, I think I miscounted yesterday, but you pretty much have today, tomorrow, and the next day to get those courses while they are on sale. Just, we're ending on Black Friday weekend. I thought it was very good. And you can get 90% off for the courses down there. That goes away in 3 days, so you have to get it while it lasts. It can really help you out as far as if this does show some volatility. You need to know the things that are going on in that course. You need to understand everything that we talk about on this channel, and the course can really help with that. The other thing is the trading view thing. I think the trading view thing, even if you're getting the essential package versus the premium package, you can get huge discounts on that today, and I think that's very, very good. Even if you're using the basic, it's like, why not save 50 bucks over the year, take yourself to a nice dinner tonight and celebrate, be like, I got a good deal, so I'm going to treat myself. You know what I mean? Those are the two things that I think are really helpful. Do you find it positive that MK are able to make these available shares appear out of nowhere because of the T1? I mean, you want to do this with, if you're talking about any kind of short sell or anything, I would more so lean towards, if you think they could do it, they probably can. If it seems fishy, if it seems illegal, if it seems like sketchy behavior in market, they're probably going to try it, right? They're going to try everything at this point. I did want to mention AMC and GME. I want to talk about this because the implied volatility on Fridays usually is not terribly high. It's nothing like that we don't see regularly, right? You know, pretty basic. The daily expected moves for today are over 200% implied volatility for both stocks. So you actually could see a test of like 560, 550 today for AMC. GME, I think I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's like $34. You can see like a 10% move in either direction for these stocks today. Now it is Friday close. AMC sitting at 490, or well, right now 501, but opening up, you know, or closing last time at 498. And what does the stock like to do on Fridays? It likes to close below 450, which would be exactly 10%. It would pretty much be the exact move to actually head down would be to get below 450, which I think is very interesting. But I with those kinds of problems, Doug, those things, here, tell me this, Doug. If you've been paying attention to those type of things for a long time with AMC and GME, have they proven to be very, very helpful in the timing of taking certain trades? Like, have you benefited from that information very clearly? Has that been very obvious, right? Or have we more so benefited from just when we see a 2-hour curl up into positive territory? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I want to think about as I'm trading more and more in this stuff is like, hey, what were we looking at when when AMC actually was making an upward move in the past, right? And what we were paying attention to way in the past, right? If you go back, I just feel like it's been very obvious that for some reason these guys are able to use 3 million shares and then have them available again within an hour. Yeah, and that's because that might be spoofing problems too, but the times where I'm just saying what's more helpful, paying attention to that stuff and really like trying to focus on it, trying to figure it out, or just showing like, hey, there's a good signal here and that was a bottom and that's most likely where the bottom would be, and then we keep curling up into positive territory, right? I'm just more so, I know there's a lot of complications with these. There's a lot of complications with Mara. There's a lot of complications with AMC, GME, DJT, probably SoFi at this point. We got Mara, maybe even SMCI. We got tons of stocks. We got Wolf, tons and tons of stocks that you could look into this and research this for hours and hours and hours and come up with a conclusion, but does it actually help you with the trade? And that's more what I'm looking for. So right now you would say, well, what's going to help me? The T1 information, or if this 2-hour crosses down and we end up pulling back to 437 next week, right? Or does this not curl down and we see a big bar like this and we close up here? What helps me more? This would convince me, oh, we got a chance to see something good on Monday. This would say, hey, I know they might just be suppressing it. We still could see it on Monday, but the technicals are telling me this is going to pull back. Did it go close below the 5-day moving average? Maybe that's my line in the sand to say, okay, I'm going to sell half my contracts, keep half in just in case something happens. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I'm looking more into these things. In GameStop, you see that's just struggling to break through the weekly expected move, and you see this is not a good signal, right? It's a lot different than what we saw here for the pretty much double bottom, right? That's where we were like, oh, I like this, and then boom, we break out, we retest the 5 and break out again, retest the 5, break out again, retest the 5, break out again. Maybe we're just waiting for that 5 to catch up, right? What helps me more is what I'm really paying attention to. That's something that I take through the course. That's something that I put on Patreon all the time. It's like, I'm not going to post things on Patreon that I don't think are actually helpful or highly probable, because that's just doing myself a disservice. You know what I mean? That's doing a bunch of people a disservice. I want to do things that are very obviously helpful. I mean, at the end of the day, this is, you keep kicking the can. Exactly, Doug. And see, so you understand that at the simplest side of things, you can sit there and kind of want it to happen. And I totally understand that. I mean, everyone that's in this has that, just so you know. You're not alone in this, right? Everyone wants these things to happen. But, you know, I think the best thing to do is always revert back to the saying of, it just takes time and pressure, right? If you stay in something long enough, it's just time and pressure before you explode. And that goes into real life, right? If you can prove it in real life, it's probably good for your thinking in the stock market. So time and pressure. So if I wanted, back when I was trying to become a pro soccer player and I realized I really wanted to do that, yeah, I went to college. I went to a different college. I didn't play soccer right away and all that stuff right out of college. But when I made that decision, it became easy. And I realized if I just put in time and really just a lot of pressure on myself to get better, okay, I can really excel. I ended up getting, shipped out to Pennsylvania, and I got to, well, before the injury, literally the day before, I got to almost get scouted by the Red Bulls, unfortunately. And I had to watch people not as good as me go play for them. So that was unfortunate. But it's like, that's what I can do. What do I do with YouTube? Well, YouTube, if I want to grow a YouTube channel, if you want to grow a YouTube channel, you literally can put a lot of time in. And guess what? You're going to be benefited from that. And if you put enough pressure on it, you might end up with, I don't know, maybe 10K subscribers by Christmas, like we did. We just opened this up last August, really. Not this previous one, but the one before that in 2023. Yeah, we'll check on it, Mr. Dan. But I think that's important because it's kind of like you can pretty much relate anything that we talk about on this channel to real life. And that's what kind of makes me prove that it's good, at least on the psychology side, for the stock market, right? It's like, hey, I see something really scary right here or something like that, right? I see a reversal signal. It's kind of like, oh, everything's jolly throughout the night out drinking with my friends, and then I have to go back to my car and I see a sketchy guy kind of staring at me in a dark alley. Well, there's potential for something bad to happen, but what if I just turn the other way? You know what I mean? There's plenty of ways to look at these things. Let's go check on the keys just so you guys have those daily expected moves. We do see here that we do have a daily expected move of 508.50 for the Qs, and we have 502.10. I just want to show this off again. I know you want to look at the Qs for a second. I just want to show it off. This right here. The dollar is basing out on the 2-hour. Are we seeing that from the 10-year? Almost, but not very good. So that's just turning straight down. So if that dollar is going to continue to rise, if we go into that negative correlation, which there are hints that we already are trying to go back into it, well, then the SPY might actually bounce up here and see something bad. The Qs might actually bounce up to something like 508.50 instead of trap. So that's what we're going to pay attention to today. We'll be live a lot today. The casino has opened. Short Fridays. So if this thing goes up, makes that divergence, and then turns down, you think you're going to short this Friday? You know what I'm saying? we have a shortened trading day, guys. So volume most likely will be a little iffy. Well, that's the thing, Terry. And it's like, that's something that a lot of people don't realize is everything kind of interconnects, right? What's true for me in my home is probably true for the whole United States of America, right? Isn't that crazy? It's crazy to think about. Hey, I should clean up my home because things are a little bit better. It's less stressful when I clean up my home. Well, should we keep our cities clean? Probably. You know what I mean? It's cool. I'm itching to buy Ethereum right now. One thing I was looking at, who likes Ripple? Oh yeah, wait, let me look at the Qs. So with the Qs, by the way, the main thing we need to pay attention to is if we beat this high, just like the last time. Right here tells us, hey, okay, now we most likely do see a corrective move, in my opinion. All of this could be liquidity to flush, and then we actually bounce back up, right? We need to pay attention to those things. But what are we paying attention to for today? Well, for today, we want to see if this is going to carve out as a lower high in the grand scheme of things, because that can actually tell us that there might be more weakness here than we think, right? Because this could actually be the topping signal for a major top. Now, I'm not necessarily, I would be fine with being proven that this is going to be a major top. It's giving signals like it could be. I'm just not leaning towards that at this moment. I think we have a chance to see one more weird thing happen if we correct pretty well here. Maybe we go down and then we start to rally up and we don't hit all-time highs until January. I think that would be very reasonable. But first, we got to see if we're going to turn around. So you notice the 30-minute here. It is curled up. Where is it? Negative territory. So if that's not able to hold and just curls down now, we're going to pay attention to a certain level. We're going to see if we can bounce off that level. If we start to lose it, a little bit scary on a shortened trading day. The more likely thing to happen as we are curling up, seeing some positivity, is we head up to this level, and then this is what we're looking for today. But we're looking for it rather quickly because we don't have much time in the market. So we need to almost, we'll go over to the SPY because that's seeing a little bit more positivity after the 5-day is able to catch up. Look at that one more time. 5-day able to catch up. You can curl up. Maybe we can do something like this. And then I would just be seriously cautious. I would be seriously cautious in this area. You're outside of a monthly at the end of the month. You're outside of a monthly at the end of the month. And guess what? The end of the month is today. The end of the month is today. So if this wants to go up like this, you could see a flush at any point at the end of the day just to end up back in these moves and end up confirming a signal, right? So let's be very, very cautious. I'm not saying this can't burst through and be bullish and all that. I'm saying I'm going to take a short position if that happens. And then I'm going to manage my risk in the trade throughout next week, right? Or I'm going to take a call on volatility. And actually, that reminds me, I need to talk to you guys about volatility. I want to bring you guys things that I see as helpful. Right now, I think the SPY is the more clear, the more helpful one. As the SPY does something like this, I think that would be very helpful to understand what behavior can ensue up here. You're still in a weekly move. You still have a daily move, but the monthly's right here. So now you know all that, and that's fantastic. Now I want to show you volatility. Because right now, triple divergence on the SPY could set up. Trap people at the exact top. Volatility. What is volatility giving you? Volatility is giving you a 30-minute triple divergence as well. Remember when we pay attention, 1, this is tapered dramatically. 2, we want to pay attention to any time this makes a signal similar to the SPY. So if this 30-minute goes like that, I would like it to go down a little bit more to really say like, hey, yeah, this is divergence, and then see something like this. I want to look at the micros here. Yeah, micros don't look too good there. Maybe a 15, maybe that's too small. Yeah, so you might even get a little 15-minute in here that gives you a 30-minute. I like the 30-minute crossing up the best. This is what I'm looking for today. If I'm going to see volatility come in by the end of the day, I'm probably going to see something like this. And then guess what? Look at that MACD. That is pointing up. That is sideways pointing up even more. It's getting more dramatic, right? It's getting more significant. That's the way we like to say it on this channel, right? It's getting more significant. Sava? Uh-oh. This thing was bad. Squeeze coming. That would be out of nowhere. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Now, there are things that can squeeze, right? DJT, you notice you're getting this almost like wedging in both your RSI and your MACD. You're noticing that you're piling up in the same area. And I want to show you the daily. And this daily is right on that center line right now. So if you're going to make the move higher for some of these stocks that could pop off, DJT is saying, hey, it could happen soon if I just curl up this daily. Sava drug, exactly. Sava drug failed. It dropped so dramatically. Someone probably knew about that news before it happened. Another one would be, SMCI seeing quite the ugly day. Okay. Now, is this like something I should absolutely be worried about even for SMCI? Well, I got to treat it like, hey, that could be bad, but does it really look that bad? You know, does it look that bad, or does it look like it could set up an opportunity? Well, it looks like it could set up an opportunity, right? So we want to look at 30 minutes. We want to see, hey, can we get that to curl up? Relatively, it looks dramatic, but it is controlled. You see that? So we're down by the 5. If we can retake that 5, curl up on an hourly, I would say at this point, right? You want to pay attention to the one that looks clear now. Hourly is right by the center line. If that would just cross up, you got yourself some massive cup and handling going on here. Very big cup and handle. You could see a pretty good move from this guy if we're able to break out, right? We're just giving a estimated move. Maybe I would more so pay attention to the gap, right? When I make a measured move, I don't like to follow measured moves too much. I like to look for the first point of resistance, see how the stock behaves around it. And the first point of resistance is here. You can see that very obviously. This is the start of that block of resistance, that support that we gapped below and became resistance. You see the wick? Very good. So I know this level is important. I'm happy for SMCI to gear up, kind of pull back the slingshot and then go bam if it wants to, but I need to pay attention to the next resistance level, and that would just be the gap fill. We can see all these wicks up in here. This is a very obvious level for resistance to come in, right around 49.50. And then I can start to go, okay, what's my weekly expected move? It's just better. Martin Shkreli, well, doesn't he have a little bit of background in there? Doesn't he have a little bit of background in there? Like Wolf, like, is this really, really bad, or is this a potential opportunity showing itself, right? Is this really, really bad, or are we reacting exactly where that resistance should come in? We pull this across, we see what? We see a gap, we see a top, we see consolidation before we break through, right? So this could be a very important level. You know, you just want to be paying attention and be like, really just zoom out on things and be like, okay, am I worried about this really coming down? Well, would I short the thing? You know, do I see signals that convince me like, hey, this is going down, I'm willing to put money behind it? Or am I seeing a pullback signal that's like, hey, maybe I should play the trend and just be patient for a bit? That'll help out a lot. Martin, good morning. It's just Sid, a lot of those pharmaceutical, any kind of like drug test company or anything like that, it's going to be very speculative, and it's very dependent on the passing, on the tests, on those kinds of things, right? When you see those pop, those are the ones actually that my dad's buddy, who just puts like $1,000 into 10 different stocks every like 5 years and then just sees what happens. He looks for those ones that are potentially running tests, ones that are potentially going to put out a drug and see if it succeeds, because when it does, they see the opposite reaction that it saw. So likely to squeeze, I don't know about that one. Now, but I'm just saying, is this an opportunity or is it not? Well, maybe you want a better confirmation. Maybe you want the hourly, since that's almost by the center line, but I still like the 30-minute. You're reacting down to the 5, and now it might be right. Now it might be like, hey, this is where I'm going to cross up, and I'm either going to make a divergence or I'm going to explode. So that's what I'd pay attention to. The reason that I'm saying Wolf on the 30-minute, why to pay attention, is because of the daily, right? The daily has crossed up. We have confirmed divergence again here. So the last time we confirmed a divergence was right here. What happened a little while after? Well, it took some time, but boom. Now you're seeing that reaction consolidating in a great area. It's curled up, it's closer to the center line than last time, so maybe it won't take as much time, right? Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and then after next week, we see something good from Wolf, but you could see it, the beginnings of it, if just this 30-minute crosses up and is not able to cross back down. Yeah. Palantir was one that this one can go either way at this point. You're building a bunch of little tight liquidity in here. You really are. And you notice this, big swing, big swing, big swing. We start to get tighter, tighter, big swing. Ooh, we start to get tighter, tighter. So right now it is pointing in the upward direction for Palantir. The 2-hour needs to cross down for that to get ugly. Cool though. I mean, I'm enjoying the market as it goes up. I'm enjoying the market, right? I'm just sitting, I'm enjoying it. I'm going, okay. Are you going to trap us, or are you going to tell me to take the trade up? You know what I mean? Yeah, so the $50 course is just for swing trading. So swing trading is something very simple, and the swing trading is like, it's very, very, very beginner friendly. I like to say both are, because I even had my wife do the full technical analysis course, and she was able to put it together. If she's able to, trust me, you can do it. Don't tell her I said that. But the $50 course is mainly just to get you into swing trading, get you kind of started. And swing trading can be something very simply on the monthly Rolo. So I'll kind of tell you what we're kind of looking at on a monthly chart. Okay, so swing trading is very simple, especially if you blow it out to the monthly and you just use it to invest. We see that we cross up on the MACD here. You might manage the trade on a weekly for a moment. The weekly turns back up and you go, okay, it's go time again, and good move. right? It's very simple. It just teaches you what you need to know in order to be confident to take this play. And then it'll get you a better understanding of the indicators. You'll get those on your charts. You'll get understanding of all of these things. The using technical indicators, the full technical analysis course, that's where we go into, hey, shorter time frame, really key things to understand if you're going to go shorter time frame, and you can use them on bigger ones. You still can, but that's more stuff that can help with any time frame, like very, very clearly. It'll help you spot weakness. It'll help you spot this. This is the best way to put it. Swing trading will get you to stay in the trend at the right time, right? The full technical analysis course will tell you in here and give you that hint before that even makes the move higher, right? This was our hint to say there was going to be a move maybe into this zone. We gapped above it. This was what we were looking for. We said it multiple times. You're looking for this right here. And all we had was this developed. Said you're looking for this. And look, it looks rather similar. And the full technical analysis course will really help you out. At the end of the day, though, if you really sum it up, it just helps you be accountable for your trades. It helps you think more clearly, and then you don't have to sit there and listen to the lies of Bloomberg or something like that. I see no profit-taking zone. Well, so you're not going to see a profit-taking zone because technically the price action above this high, you've never been there. So what do you want to pay attention to? Well, two things. Whole numbers, maybe a call wall, and the daily and weekly and monthly expected move. So this is a sell zone. It's just, is that going to happen? Right? Is it going to happen? We see things gap up above sell zones. We see things break through those sell zones. So this is where that weakness is. So when you're in no man's land, it can be kind of a scary thing because you have no idea when it could drop. Something you can pay attention to when you're in no man's land is whole numbers, 600. Okay, monthly expected move, daily expected move, weekly expected move. It gives you those support and resistance levels priced in by the options market. That's why we like it. Yeah, so DT, the expected move is over on Patreon, but I want you to understand that the expected move for today would land you at like 496. So the expected move for today, if they do something really crazy, they go like this. They just say, nope. They would have to have a ton of liquidity to do that at this point. Is DJT breaking now? And we're bouncing around a little bit, guys. As we get to those daily expected moves, we will focus on the indices. So stick around and leave a like for the channel, guys. I would really love to see this channel. I would love to see us grow. You guys are doing a fantastic job liking these videos, subscribing, telling buddies about it. I think that's awesome. We just want to help more retail traders, right? So I'm glad there's questions about the course because that is something that can genuinely help people. Not a lot of people know what divergences is. Let's just talk simply. Not a lot of people know why. Why do we pay attention to divergence? Why does divergence mean weakening in momentum? And I break that down very simply. And then it's almost like a light switch comes on. And I get an email almost once a week just being like, holy crap, that now divergence makes so much sense to me. Just understanding it can give you that confidence in it for those type of things. So what we more want to look for are they good signals? Are we breaking out? And that's something we need to pay attention to for now. We know that they like to fight the stock on Fridays. But DJT starting to wake up. The signal that I want to see is happening right now. The signal that I want to see is happening right now. I want that 2 hour to curl up. I'm just going to be frank. I want that 2 hour to curl up into positive territory, take back all these moving averages, and then curl up this daily chart. That's what I want to happen. Because then I would go, okay, what happens in positive territory, right? We're just talking about things that we talk about all the time, and we make very clear in the course. What happens in positive territory when this swings up, right? We just got asked about the difference between the $50 course and the $100 course right now. Both of them are on a 90% sale, by the way. They're not usually at those prices. Get them for Black Friday weekend. Dedicate yourself to some learning, because if we start to see some craziness, some big volatility in the market, you're going to need it to keep a level head. All right. That's what's kept us a level head a lot of the time, right? We've gone from, oh, this signal looks like a crash signal, be open to it going higher. Oh, we see the reversal signals. It's probably going higher. That's the highest probability. Okay, it did. Awesome. So what we want to see is swing trading. You're just looking for, hey, is that daily going to move up? Right? But we can look a little deeper and know, hey, what can we understand? Because we have a good understanding of the MACD, we can see this 2-hour move and be confident in it and know how to manage our trade afterwards if it's going to go the wrong way. So DJT, what you need to really get a reason for this to go up is you need an understanding of the MACD. You need to understand how important this is and how to actually understand. It's not just when this crosses up, it's where it crosses up and things like that. It's what are we doing before it crosses up. We are building and building. We got a big shift up, a big shift down, a big shift up. Oh, it's starting to get tight. It's starting to get tight. Okay, what can happen if this 2-hour curls up? Oh, we can take out these levels and go make a new one. I'm just going to say that right now. But you have to know and be open to being wrong. So if we break out like this, and then the 30 minutes not very positive, right? Maybe the 30-minute breaks out for a second, and you see it's just here, and then it curls back down. What do you need to do? You need to know to react, right? We have to be reacting. So DJT, I like the look. I want to see the 2-hour confirm up, because if the 2-hour confirms up, it is likely that the daily will confirm up. And if you really look at this, this thing could go all the way up to like $58 from that measured move. Can you pull up AMC 5-year daily chart and just let the group see how beautiful that long duration is? Yeah, we can pull that up. Thank you so much for the $5. Really appreciate it, because maybe Black Friday I can find some cool stuff for $5. You know what I mean? Thank you so much, Short Fridays. Really appreciate it. Let's just really look. I mean, if you really, really look at this and you zoom out for a long period of time, you're going, okay, what's going on here? And the better thing I think to do is just go, what happened on the monthly scale? And also let's put some, get some of that on there. That's always good to put on there, right? If I can move over the chart, let's just zoom in on this and see what happened last time. Well, last time we curled up on a monthly in negative territory. It took some months. It took like 12 months, I think. But it ended up being a good move at the end of the day. So these stocks that they're telling you, and we said this before, these stocks that they're telling you, I didn't answer the volume. Peloton. So we'll look at Peloton in a second, but the main thing is this a good investment? Is this a potentially better investment than something else that has been screaming higher for a long time? So let's compare this. Let's look at this compared to something, right? Let's go over here. Let's go to a monthly chart and let's go look at Microsoft. Who's using Microsoft products right now? Which one do you think has the potential for growth from here? Which one do you think might be running out of steam and need to pull back dramatically? Well, is it a company that is constantly improving their financials? And thank you so much for the $1.99. And we'll look at MSTR. We will. But it's just which one looks like more of an opportunity to the upside? Which one's more one that I would be more confident to put, say, 10 grand behind, right? Not saying to do that. I'm just saying which one looks better according to the MACD. One with divergence, something we pay attention to on 30 minutes and 2 hours and dailies, that really hurts us a lot of the time. And if we're not reacting to those things that reverse the trend, well, which way is the trend going? This way. This could start going that way. And it's starting to confirm. And we got 1 day left in the month. Right, today. Or is it the one that the last time it curled up on the monthly, it wasn't the greatest, and we could see that again, but it still saw some positivity with that curl up, and then it dropped back down. And what levels are we at? Well, we're technically at those levels right now. And then when that curled up, it saw something fantastic, because I think people are sleeping on this. I think it's a good company. Right? I think they're improving. If I really want to talk about it just like on a basic level. That's all you got to look for, really. To really think like, is this really a good opportunity? Like, Sava probably doesn't have a monthly that looks good anymore. I can tell you that. Now it's like the market. What do I want to see here? Well, this is pretty flat. We're probably going to turn down soon. We see the divergence getting pretty dramatic here now. But it's continued to head up, and I think we're going to correct more and see something like that. We'll see. It's just more just pulling into some common sense. And just being like, hey, Nvidia's booming. Awesome. On a monthly chart, it curled up into positive territory, right? So it's just, okay, cool. Oh, it disappeared. Interesting, max effort. So it's just when you really zoom out and pull up monthly charts, guys, if you're ever stressed out for a day, and this is good. If you're stressed out and you're really trying to take a play, slow down, look at a monthly chart for a few stocks. You'll look at ones that potentially have some weakness in signals and say, okay, is this going to head up over time or is this going to head down? You know, what's the more likely thing? Is this a good opportunity right now? That's better. All right, we're going to look at MSTR, right? Micro strategy. Great. Fan-freaking-tastic. Awesome. Because the 2 hours right by that center line, we just got asked about that swing trading course. What do we see? It's just both courses together. You can get them both right now if you're not ready for the full technical analysis. Get it while it's on a discount. Because you could end up paying $400, $500, $600 for that thing later, because that's the very important course, right? So get it while it's on a discount, and then once you're ready for it, start to learn about, ooh, what should I pay attention to for support levels? Should I pay attention to just this level? Should I pay attention to this block in here? Oh, I probably should pay attention to the block. We dipped back down into it. Well, what happened the last time we dipped down in that block? Oh, we bounced off of it, so there's support there. Okay, awesome. We're going to go back down that block. Oh, we couldn't make the move higher. Back down in that block. Ooh, what if the 2 hour confirms up now? Well, now you have two dips down in that block, two sets of buyers that probably came into this bad boy. And now we're going to see, hey, can this thing get above the 5? Can it curl up on the 2 hour? And things are looking pretty good. Okay, these things, I got to fix the Streamlabs thing. It's popping up like way too often. Sorry about that, guys. I'm playing around with it. I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't mean to annoy you in the chat. I used to have it for Twitch, and I was like trying to get it back, and then it just, ugh. I don't like the look, but so sorry if that annoys you today. I promise you I'm not trying to annoy you, even though I'm pretty annoying. At least that's what my wife tells me. And it was 20 on the daily chart. See, that's fantastic. And something you do want to check. We do want to check that daily chart, by the way, if I can click on the right freaking one. And you'll just look at the daily and be like, okay, that's crossed down. That's not a good sign, right? That's not a good sign. So right away, I go, I'm looking for two things. One, the daily doesn't look the best, but the 2 hour looks good, and we've just tested off the 20, and we're maybe even going to take back that 9 now. So was this a blip? Was this just a pullback? Or are we going to make a bigger reversal signal later? Well, we were always leaning towards the bigger signal later for MicroStrategy. And this is one I might actually look at. So this here is nothing on the MACD and RSI at the same time. We have kind of down here for the RSI, not on the MACD. So a 2 hour swing up to take out this high to set some kind of trap would be very good, right? That would make a lot of sense because that's how these things behave. But I have to understand that because that daily is crossed down, I need to pay attention to managing risk in here. If this curls down, if this fails in any way, I need to be able to manage risk. Yeah, let's look at Peloton. See, Peloton, it's pretty cool because this is great. And you noticed the signal last time. What did you do? Doesn't this look a little bit like MicroStrategy at this point where it boomed down and then just curled up on a 2 hour later on and you go, okay, cool, awesome. And that was a big curl. You might want some other reasons to get in at this point, but you see the double top, that's when we really start to see, oh, we're losing the moving average. Once you start to lose the moving averages, it gets scarier. And then we'll look at a 30-minute and be like, okay, not so scary anymore, right? We can see at the low right there, the rejection divergence here, major upward move for the RSI with that point. That's awesome. So here it was saying that's the full technical analysis course. If you can really understand it, this is where the opportunity was. The opportunity came later, probably for the 2 hour. Yeah, see, it's like 4 hours later than the 2 hour tells you with swing trading signals, hey, this thing is a go, right? So we're just paying attention. Now, what do I need to look for here? Look at that 2 hour. Well, the last time we needed this signal to drop, so what if we go make that now? What if we drop down now and then make that later, right? So let's look at a 30-minute and see if this 2 hour can really keep going or if this is going to shut down. Well, if it's going to shut down, then the 30-minute's going to curl down into negative territory, and this will be the trap today. Oh, wait. KXIN. I haven't looked at it before, so let me go look over here. Yeah, that's just an absolutely downward stock. There's not going to be any technicals that hold truth there. 2 hour, if it has a signal, maybe. It's getting closer to the center line. So if I'm looking at something like this, this is a skeptical one, right? Because I'm not seeing good price action. I'm just seeing us ride the 5-day down and you get these big reactions. It's very hard to catch these big reactions. You will get signals before it happens, but you're going to get like 10 signals before it happens. So you're going to have a lot of liquidity if you're going to try this stuff. You're going to have to manage risk a lot in this stuff. But the good part about you pointing it out now is you're closer to the center line. So I'm actually proud of you for pointing it out at a time where it actually is closer to going into the positive trend. You notice we haven't been able to do that. We came out of a positive trend in October, and we've remained in there the entire time. So this can go like that. You're feeling better about it. So right now it says, you know, if I manage a trade, I could say, hey, it's a go. Ooh, that doesn't look good. Let me see if that swings back up. Maybe when it takes back the 5 and closes above it, I go, okay, that's when I go. And then we see if it happens and I manage risk. So, but it seems like, you know, guys, more so something that'll be helpful for you in markets. It is very difficult to catch these timings and not run out of money because you're going to see crazy downward price action at times in stocks like this, just the behavior of it. I'm not saying I hate the stock. I'm not saying talking badly about it. I'm just saying I don't know if there's a short seller problem. I don't know anything about this. All I know is these opportunities that you see that get you all excited, these are very difficult to catch. Right? That's why I actually like the fact that they're fighting AMC and GME because they're making it easier to catch. Because you're able to see clear divergences because there is a fight between buyers and sellers. This one seems like this one seems like it can have short sellers in it because it's just down, but I don't know enough about the stock and it seems like it's getting no buying pressure as of right now. So this would be one that if I'm going to take it, I want to see it take back the 5 and then I want to manage risk. But what I was getting at here is using simple signals on other charts can be much easier, right? If we just see this and we see the opposite move from volatility, which one's the easier and more likely thing to move more? The SPY and volatility or that KXIN? You know what I mean? And look, we're heading up towards a daily expected move. Fantastic. Exactly how we see it playing out. That's awesome. I love to see it. I'm going to pull up volatility over here. So I'm not talking badly about it. I'm just like, hey, you know, there's better opportunities in my opinion. 2 hour, we'll see if we can do that. 30-minute here, holding the divergence point. We'll see if that rotates up. So this could easily boom to the upside. We just got to see, do we actually make the divergence or do we see something crazy to get rid of all this, right? Right now we're looking for, do we do this? But we're also seeing, do we get rid of this, right? Do we completely cancel it out? That's what I'm paying attention to for the SPY. Tesla, great move up so far, which is good. You broke through the overall really tight flagging. Huge amount of implied volatility in Tesla all the time. Weekly expected move. If you trade Tesla, the Patreon's going to really help you out. You know, I won't say that about every single stock, right? A weekly expected move won't help you with probably, you know, KXN that you're looking at because you're just going to see very, very small ones and then you're going to see a random reaction maybe at some point. Very difficult. But something like Tesla, you can look at a weekly expected move. It usually has big ones. You can start to see, oh, okay, a 2 hour. You could see moves like this, see a 2 hour by the center line, that curls up, and then next week you make another one. Let's say it's up here, and you go like this, and then you go, okay, that's as high up as we're supposed to go. Am I making a reversal signal? What is going on here? But is this a time where I want to take profit? How long out is my option? What does the daily look like? Yeah, if a 2 hour swings up and we hit a weekly expected move next week, most of the time I would take profit. You're getting tighter though. You can kind of see this starting to tighten up. Didn't we like the green? Oh, technically I do these in blue actually. I don't like them to be too thick. So I can get a good point here. Yeah, so you see how we could tighten up. You see how we could still leak into next week and then experience something bad afterwards. There is time for Tesla. Or you could break out to the upside, right? This could be a massive cup and handle. But you're starting to get tighter. This move is big. This move is big. This move's getting smaller. This move might get smaller. This move might get smaller. We might just keep doing that. So we need it to get tight to probably see a big move. I think today's an interesting day. NVIDIA getting a retest, about to curl up a 2-hour, right? 2-hour curls up, we can probably see more upside. But where are we at for the day? You know, when you see that, you want to go, where am I at for the day? Ooh, I'm reaching right up to where things can start to get a little ugly. Where the trap can be set. Remember what we were talking about, right? Hopefully you enjoy your subscription to this channel. We just try to be helpful. I told you I was leaning the most towards this, and it is an option to pay attention to. A trap for the bears, trap the bulls, convince the bears, nope, it can't head down, and then say Santa rally's coming, and uh-oh, bad things happen. Right. Now we're seeing this volatility is dropping like straight down right now. If that violates the divergences, this might be a different story. We're just paying attention to the potential for great weakness that can come in today. Let me see here. Okay. So I got to see if both of these signals hold on volatility and the SPY at the same time. Thank you guys so much for the questions. Great questions today. I'm really enjoying it. We are going to be live the entire time the market is open. So till, you know, for the next 3 hours or so. Might just need one break in there for like 20 minutes. I try to do a ton of analysis so you guys can see, especially when I do it for the full day, how much it does take it out of me to like keep going and it's talking about it too, because I have to think about it in my brain to explain it. Because to me, it just kind of is like drinking water. Like it just makes sense, right? It's like riding a bike. Sometimes it gets complicated, but for the most part, I'm like, yeah, it's like riding a bike. But when you ride a bike for 8 hours straight at full pace, it's gonna get tiring. So we're gonna try to bring you as good of technical analysis as we can. Doge, very interesting and good timing maybe. Yeah, I'll look at Rivian because I actually like that. I actually like Rivian. As far as the product goes, I've seen a lot of Rivian cars. I've seen a lot of Rivian trucks and things like that, and I actually think they're kind of cool, and I've researched into them before. I actually was an investor in Rivian at one point, and then I saw the topping signals, and I was out. But we'll look at that in a moment. Let me go look at Doge, because Doge, you guys know, Doge is a stock. Doge is a coin or a crypto that I turned $100 into $6,000 with, and this is the opportunity with some of these guys. But I want you to notice that Doge, what is overall happening here, right? What is happening here? Well, something I really like to do whenever I look at any kind of crypto is I go to the same time frame and then I go look at Bitcoin, and I go, okay, what is Bitcoin doing, right? What is Bitcoin doing? Okay, now these are my other levels for my other trading, but I'm probably not. I haven't traded Bitcoin in a minute. So you want to see what's happening with Bitcoin might just be happening over here with Doge. And so I want to see how closely this is following it. Well, there's the peak, comes down one more time, and then turns back up, and we see another peak, and we turn down. So right now, I'm going to see a 4-hour divergence on both. That's what I'm going to see on both charts. All right, there's the 4-hour divergence there. If I go over to Bitcoin, what am I going to see? I'm going to see a 4-hour divergence right here. Right now, what's happening with that 4-hour divergence? It curled back up. So we have to be open to it testing the high, making a new one. Little less likely, right? When we look at Doge, a little less likely. So we have to be aware if we see like 2-hour signals in this move at any point. Are we seeing those signals right now? Well, let's just do it on Bitcoin because it's very clear right now. And just see, we're starting to violate those divergences. So that's great. That means Bitcoin can get up to here, maybe consolidate, or reject, right? Anytime that 2 hour curls down, it's still close to the center line. All right, so 4 hour curls down, 2 hour curls down, you got a lower high, which is being suggested by both daily charts at this point. But a 4 hour curl up can be a good thing. A 4 hour swing trade can be a good thing. I'm just stating how we've still remained in the same area. And if we pull back with time, that's great. But is common sense going to kick in for me? And I'm going to go, hey, is the opportunity to catch this move? It might be. If that thing takes off, you might say, yeah, okay, awesome, I can swing trade a 4 hour. But or is the opportunity, hey, the market looks like it's topping. Bitcoin gave me a 4 hour divergence before the market topped. And if the market does top, Bitcoin might follow it, and then I can pay attention to 84,000. I can pay attention to 73,000, right? This zone is what I really like for Bitcoin. So that means Doge could potentially go all the way down to 21 cents to turn back up, because Doge will move even more aggressively. I remember trading it. So my overall prediction, not really prediction, just how things like to behave, and then understanding how things like to behave, and then making a educated conclusion that this is most likely going to turn down eventually on this 4 hour, because it will at some point run out of steam, is something I need to pay attention to. What I think ends up happening for Bitcoin is, I don't think it's safe. I don't think I think the market giving topping signals and Bitcoin doing it at the same time makes sense. And I think Bitcoin needs to pull back further. I think the lowest point is like 84.5K, or the highest up point, sorry. But the lowest point would be like 76, 73, right in this area. So, but I'm not saying it's bearish, right? I'm not saying this is going to tank through the floor and go to 20K right now. It can if it wants to, but I'm going to see monthly's turnover. But I'm more saying, if this would go like this, you would have the opportunity to go higher. I do think you go higher than these levels. I just don't know if that would be right now. Maybe we set a trap, then we come down and we break through these higher up levels. That's what I'm paying attention to. Bitcoin and the market both showing some topping signals. Peloton still screaming? Cool. All right, we've reached up to the daily expected move. This is where we start to see resistance. All right, we'll see if that resistance can come in. You do have the violation of divergence with that move. So this bar is very, very important. Stuff here, I want to look at pricing. Okay. So this bar is very, very important if we can hold it. Maybe can we see any micro stuff at this point? No, there's not really. So on the micro level, you could say, what's happening here? Well, I could get a cup and a handle that then turns up after we curl back down into the month, or this could be a 30-minute divergence that could be very bad. So if the 30-minute crosses back down, not a good sign. If the 5-minute can really do this and hold up, and you see that start to curl at the end of the day, that could be a good sign, right? Now, I really like to pull up charts that are low, like a 30-minute, but 30-minute is enough price action in the bars that I can trust it. Pendulum on MACD swings more instead of bobbing the center line. I do like volatility plays more. More so because volatility can move up at a better rate, I think, than the SPY can move down. When the SPY moves down, everyone's trying to catch the bottom. Volatility sometimes doesn't even react to that, because big players are like, no, this thing's heading down, right? So I like volatility, and I like doing those short plays, see the SPY hit a weekly, take my money, call it a day. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, the daily expected move was suggesting a new all-time high here. The weekly expected move is as well. This can continue. Let's go look at the Qs. That's 0.72. We're starting to break the daily expected move for the Qs. So when we break the daily expected move for the Qs, we look for when the SPY is testing its daily expected move. Right now is when resistance can start to come in for the day, right? And the month. Not necessarily the week, right? not necessarily the week. And what are you doing? And sometimes it's good to look at futures and really pay attention. I don't know if I have the right levels, right? But really pay attention, because you can really zoom out on things and then go, okay, is that divergence really being violated, or are we going to maybe see some more upside here? Is it overbought on the futures? Because we've seen some wacky behavior in the futures. That's why I'm bringing it up. I want you to see this spike down that happens here. And then at 8 o'clock, we just turn right back up. So this spike down does matter in the futures, and you're not going to see it in the price action on the SPY, right? So something I can pay attention to is, hey, does this have room on futures to go up, and then does that cross back down? I don't know if I've updated these levels, by the way, so don't pay attention to these. I can check on if they are correct, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. Actually, I'll update them for you. Let's see. Bam, there you go. So you're there. Now, you want to understand, this is not bearish. This is not bearish. This is bullish. It's just you're in a zone where 68% chance to drop. But you need that confirmation again to be confirmed, to really be, hey, this can go down. So that's why a 30-minute here is just much more helpful, because you're right on it. The 2-hour gives you confidence, like, hey, that divergence is still there. Yeah, so I was more so talking about 5-minute NF. No, I trust the shit out of 30 minutes. I talk about them all the time because that's the chart I follow the most, because it has the most price action happening, right? Each day has more bars. No, I trust the crap out of 30-minute. And it's more, I understand the 30-minute. I understand the 30-minute. I understand that it goes up for triple divergence more than it will on the 2-hour. So I understand my risk very well on a 30-minute. I understand that the 2-hour is a little less risky, and I understand the daily is a little less risky, right? Because I'm going to have more momentum behind each bar as the time frames go higher. So yes, NF, I like don't try to, I know I talk. So sometimes you might hear something that I don't mean it in that context. It's good to clarify, NF. So I appreciate that. I trust 30-minute to a T. I'm saying I look at microstructure sometimes on 5-minute charts just to see what could happen to hurt me in the short term. But 5 minutes see crazy things. And so I trust 30-minute first. That's all I was trying to get across. The 30-minute is the lowest time frame that I will really trust. Netflix has a ton of divergence. Now Netflix keeps making these moves higher. Netflix, we actually pointed it out. That the 30-minute divergence down here, we actually mentioned this, and this means, hey, we talked about a 2-hour swinging higher, right? A 2-hour can swing higher. It can. You don't have reversal signals here. That means that if a big stock like Netflix is going to do this, well, can't the market keep going higher? Can't we violate those divergences, right? We've unconfirmed the 2-hour here because, the end of the day is something big to pay attention to. Because there's not the full bar of 2 hours in there. There's not the full price action of 2 hours in the last bar of the day for the 2-hour. So it's good to zoom out and look at the SPX 500. We'll talk about that a little bit in the course, because I think that's something that we need to go over. But I want to pay attention to, do we see the resistance come in, right? We've kind of bursted up there very well. The Qs are going up there very, very well. If the Qs want to remain going higher, it can see weakness here, retest off of some moving averages and curl right back up, right? I want to be aware of how I can be hurt in any way, but I want to be aware if this is an opportunity and this crosses back down, that might be a massive trap at an all-time high, and the Qs still are not breaking these highs here. We can see that very obviously. Like I said, you're going to have to see something crazy from a ton of stocks to keep going higher. It is definitely possible. Is it probable? Technically, you would say no. Apple, no. This is not probable. This is probable to end below 234.50, right? What is it? Amazon, is this probable? No. Microsoft, what was the most probable thing to happen with Microsoft? It was to get rejected from this zone. See that 2-hour pull down. Now you'll notice that there is a way to head higher and be open to it, because that will help you shift your money around, right? It will change your thinking. You can react. Very good. I like it. Let's go check over on, I want to see if DJT is curling up on a 2-hour. Not quite yet. Let's see how our boy is performing. Is AMC going to end at 447 or whatever? GME starting to cross down on the 2-hour. Let's see what happens with this by the end of the day. Hey, I appreciate that, visionary trader. If you got a moment of your time and you're not in trying to really focus on setting up a trade right now, you can hit that like button. If you appreciate the info, you can always ask a question and things like that. I will try to get to it. Note that a lot of people are in here today, so if I'm ever not able to get to your question, not able to get to your stock, try to get my attention, or just ask nicely every once in a while, and usually I will see it. GME pulling back, yes, and that could be, earnings is next week, right? I don't know why I thought earnings was this week, but I want you to notice the 30-minute's still positive. The 30-minute is still positive. Now, one thing I wanted to mention with GME is a good thing, and I'm going to go on the SPY because we don't necessarily need to look at the price action to talk about it. The thing I wanted to mention with GME was they were prepared to fight the stock next week. Next week. They were definitely prepared to fight the stock next week because that E is on the screen. Of course, I made the mistake of thinking the E was this week, but earnings is next week, so they immediately know, hey, earnings has potential to give good news, and that's where we could see a pop. Let's be ready to fight the stock. So I would still say they are prepared to fight it, but this is good for GME to make these upward moves before. Because by making the upward moves before, you hurt their liquidity before they need it for the earnings. Yo, am I tripping? Am I not able to read? God dang it. If I get this wrong again, god dang it, it is December 10th. God dang it. Yeah, you can tell I pay attention to way too many things, and I'm letting this slip. All right, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. Earnings, December 10. I'm going to help myself out here because I keep looking at multiple things and then I keep fucking this up and I'm pissed off at myself for it. Earnings, December 10th. Jeez, Luke. Get it down. Get it down to a T. All right, there we go. Now I will never forget. Hashtag never forget. Here you go. So we're still seeing if that resistance can come in. 9 minutes left in the bar. Can we break through? When Nvidia goes up, usually Apple rolls over. Yeah, and Apple was eerily similar to what the Q's look was. It's like Apple was the one just directing it. No, GME on the 2-hour is not looking good. I'm going to leave that up on my other screen just to be aware. Now, one thing that you're noticing here, look at the SPY, look at volatility. You want to find an opportunity, there might be one for you today. If this can cross up right here, you would confirm triple divergence, and the SPY showing the signal at the same time. Chat. Hey, chat. What do I like to say? Is it good or bad to see the, is it good? Does it add more to your credibility of your potential trade setup if the SPY and volatility are showing the same signal at the same time? Do you like when the SPY is showing something in the opposite direction of volatility at the same time? Is that a good thing? Does that make things a little simple? I like it. The fuck is GME doing? It's getting fought on a Friday like it always happens. If it curls down the 2-hour, just be careful. That would be a big pullback signal. Just know this is the best GME's looked in a long time. And on Fridays, they like to fight the stock. It could convince you, hey, I know a lot of people are going to ask about this, but it can convince you, hey, this is bad. I have an hour left for that to confirm. I'm still above the 5. I'm still in a positive trend on the 30, right? So it's not all said and done yet, right? I need to wait an hour and see But this can curl down. This can give you a daily pullback. This could mean they're going to fight the crap out of the stock with earnings. You know what I mean? Well, just notice where the 5-day lines up with right now, too. Ooh. Where did we wait, consolidate on the short time frame and break through? Right there. Right here. Where did we see resistance? Right here. Where do we see the new support? Well, it would be the resistance becoming support and our 5-day. Awesome. So this looks really bad. If the 30-minute curls up today, it's good. Just be prepared for them to fight the stock. What this can mean, guys, from a risk to reward perspective is the risk is down in the short term. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. The risk is down in the short term. And then also, what I can do if I'm worried, like, hey, I don't want to miss out on the move because it will most likely happen on a Monday or Tuesday. Okay, awesome. Well, if I don't want to miss out on that move, then I can say, okay, maybe I'll let this convince me to sell half. That way, if I'm in the move, I can be a little bit bummed, but not 100% bummed. And then if it comes down, I can be a little bit, like, it's kind of a situation where you're probably going to end up a little bummed either way. But that's why we manage the position size, right? And that's all we're talking about here, managing the position size. Sorry, I got to charge my phone. So yeah, we're talking about managing the position size here, and managing the position size would be, I know these things can pop off. It looks good on the bigger time frames, but short term we could see a pullback. So maybe I want to get out of half just in case, but maybe I want to see if this full 2-hour bar is able to cross first. Maybe I want to see if we can close below the 5 first, because that's good support, right? I can make standards for myself very quickly. Just me, welcome, welcome, welcome. Market seems bullish. It does seem bullish. And it doesn't seem bullish. It is bullish, right? We're still in that positive trend, right? SPY still in the positive trend. Q's still in a positive trend, but Q's, they're not breaking through that high just yet. If they want to, they might have to reload for next week, right? But I'm still watching. This is not surprising whatsoever. This is exactly what we talked about. What was it? On Wednesday. Wednesday morning before market open, we talked about how they could trick and trap and hurt the most amount of traders. You are seeing the exact thing we were looking for. Go down, right? We said this before market open. Go down, trap the bears. Go up, trap the bulls, and convince these bears that this thing is going to break out. And then you just turn down. If we're not going to set a trap, you're not going to see this turn down. DJT started to break out. 2-hour signal is what we need. Oh, so close. So close. I'm leaning towards that. Look at the daily, man. Just zoom out on things, right? Common sense, zoom out on things. Wow, this would be a great time for a potential move higher. What do I need for the daily to cross up? I need the 2-hour to cross up. I need the 2-hour to continue this positive trend, which is what this is, by the way. This is still a positive trend. If we started to go through that center line, that's when you start to get a little bit more worried. So yeah, it's cool stuff. Tesla, 2-hour again, right? 2-hour again. Great move right by the center line. 2-hour pops up. You're already getting 2 of the swing trade signals. This is where managing risk really comes in. If you can take both courses, really understand managing your trade, which is a full section of the course. It's a whole video by itself because it's so important. That video alone, managing your trades, is worth $100 for sure. For sure. You will save countless more numbers than $100 by managing risk. It's not something people do. 90% of people use a stop loss, right? They put a stop loss here, say this is breaking out. It takes out the stop loss, then it goes higher, right? We do things a little bit differently. Stop losses I don't think are a bad thing. I just like to say there are ways to manage risk in your trade to actively do it, especially if you're someone who's sitting in front of your screen all day watching these charts. Tesla, 2-hour turns up, good things can happen. This might all be consolidation to break through something key. This could be the next trap set, right? Has it curled up on the MACD yet? Not perfectly, right? But you're getting 2 of the swing trade signals now. If you know how to manage risk, that's what's important. You are taking it early, technically, because that hasn't crossed up. But if it looks good to you, if it completes in an hour, and you take a play, and you know how to manage risk, you can be confident. All right, Short Fridays. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. So I can look over at AMAT and BURL, Burlington. I noticed you said something about Burlington, so let's look at that first. I think someone said something about Burlington. Should I be really, really worried here? Most likely not. Most likely not. Now, can this be a more dramatic pullback to go grab some buyers? Well, where's the very obvious support? Look at the gap. This is gap support. This is gap support, all in this area. We notice that we resisted from that exact area. We notice that we touched that area of resistance, touched that area of resistance, touched that area of resistance, touched that area of resistance. Holy crap, that's an important level. I might want to make a little line here. Boop. 273.47. If we start to lose that, you can start to be worried. If we start to close 2-hour bars below that, you can start to be worried. But does this have topping out signals right now? No, it doesn't. It does have a 30-minute lower high signal, so you're pulling back. Maybe you pull back into the support starts right here, by the way. So actually, let me redo this. This will help you out. Right, we just go like this. We take the bar. I like to use the bottom of the bars, and then I'll use the bottom of the bars here as well. And then I'll pull that across, make sure it all lines up. And look, now it's very obvious. Once you make a zone, doesn't it just look more obvious to you what's going on? And more so with this, I probably will take the gap on this one, right? And I'll just see if we can dip down into that a couple times, use it as support to head higher. This is not, there's no 2-hour reversals here. It can reverse, it always can. If you lose this zone, react back up, and then reject from the zone, right? We talk about that plenty with zones, right? Left, head, right shoulder, ba-ba-boom, right? Keep it simple. Keep it simple. What are you in right now? You're in a 30-minute pulling back. Is that 30-minute dramatically away from the center line? Well, if you're just going to get some buyers in this zone and see support come in, you're going to see this thing be able to whip back around, right? We do have a lower high reversal. That's not a good sign, but it is giving you an overall, hey, maybe a 2-hour pullback. So if we're not able to break this zone, we can hold up in it. It could be potential opportunity. I will look at sound in a second, just give me a moment here. AMAT, A-M-A-T, Applied Materials, great higher low for the 2-hour. That's actually really good. I actually really like that higher low. I think that's great. I see this point, so I want to see. I know there's probably not a 30-minute in here. Actually, you have a flat divergence right here for the RSI. That's cool. Divergence down here at the low. That's really cool to take back the 5. You actually lost the 5 for a second. That's unfortunate. But 2-hour turning up right now. I like that look if that can hold in about an hour. And then I want to see, is there a daily signal behind this as well? Not the most clear daily signal, not the most smooth daily signal. But what I like about this is we were heading down dramatically. Look at that double bottom, pops up. We're heading down dramatically, but that's a little bit different than over here, right? So we are still tapering. So I don't mind the look if we can take back that resistance. You notice we tried to gap below it back in the past. Now we're in it. So if you can hold that, that's a good sign. The daily turns up, you're feeling a lot better. Let's see. Now these only have 2 points. These only have 2 points, but it's more to just display how the stock saw a massive move. It saw these bigger swings. Now it's getting a little tighter, right? I could probably even go like 30-minute or 2-hour, actually 2-hour probably, and just see that's a big one. I need to spread that out a little. I want to go wicks first because it's only 2 touches. I want to make sure not to cheat, right? Move my lines around like a lot of people like to do. Don't be moving your lines around If you have 3 touches, that's the lines. They can violate those lines. That's okay, guys. It's okay for stocks to violate these lines. All right, so I have almost 3 touches on this one, and we're starting to break out. Now, what could end up happening short term? Hey, we could do this, retest, and then end up going higher. I don't mind the look. That looks like it wants to go positive, right? Crossed up right here, right? And then went positive. What'd you see? 186.20 all the way up to 194. That's a solid little move there. That can happen again if you go positive, right? We went positive right here, and boom, upside. We ride that 5 for a long time. We see 2-hour divergence. What should we expect if we see 2-hour divergence? A daily to crossover. So right here, I'm assuming a daily crossover around October 16th. October 16th. Yeah, there you go. October 16th. Cross down. Then we consolidated, moved lower. So is this a great opportunity? I think it's an okay one. That's how I would put it. I like it to be simple. I like it to be smooth. I like that 2-hour signal. I got to see if it can hold today. Let's go look at sound real quick, and then we're going to pop back over to the market for a little bit, guys, okay? Just so you know. Sound, great stuff. Great stuff there. Okay. See, this is one you should have been worried about. But what happens is you gotta lose the 5. That's why the 5, having that on your chart will be good. We will put this back in the beginning of the course of how to put this on. I really like having this on my chart, guys. So I'm gonna put this in the course as well. I have like many things to add to the course now. I'm gonna try to add them all this weekend. You might get the course today and then notice that I'm gonna add like 3 things to it over the weekend. I need to do that. I know I say it all the time, it's just my time is very limited all the time because of baby girl. I don't know why she loves me so much these days. So what I want to pay attention to is it violating the divergence on the MACD? No. Is it violating it on the RSI? It's trying to. So all you're getting is a test of the 5, right? We lost it in the past, made a big divergence for the double bottom. Notice that. You're going to start to see these things really clearly after you take that course this weekend, and then you'll see, boom, then the 2-hour curled up, right? Then the 2-hour curled up. So this one would get you in here. The swingers would get you in here. So that's a difference of about 50 cents on a small stock. Right? That's why taking both is good. And it's good to take both. It's good to understand swing trading because it can give you confidence. Having confidence while trading is very good. It will make you feel very in control. And look at that, even the 2-hour starting to turn up, right? That's great. If we don't hold these divergences, if we don't fade this in any way, like right now, you might see another 30-minute uptrend. Kind of crazy. I like it. In sound at in sound since 161. Let's look at a daily then for you. Okay. So this is one thing that, since you do have it at lower levels, that's a very good price. So wouldn't you like it to remain a good price? Or if it's going to see a dramatic drop, maybe you want to see if you can buy it again at, say, $4, $5 probably, right? Well, the way that this thing gets to $5 is it gets a daily pullback, right? It gets something dramatic. Maybe it goes down all the way down to $6 would be the first point to pay attention, because that's where you can get the confusing both scenarios at the same time, right? Stocks like to do that. But we see the reversal signal here for the RSI. We do not see it on the MACD. Very clearly don't see it on the MACD. So if it does pull down, it might mean react. And then if that can curl back up, that might be the safer opportunity to continue for sound. I just wanted to go through a daily since you do have it at a extremely lower price. You can always look at weekly charts and things like that and notice, hey, there is potential for weekly divergence. There's potential for weekly consolidation to break out. And look how that daily pullback might be the thing that saves you for a little bit of time. And then you see something good. Watch out for earnings always. Okay, so here we go. We have on this violated that divergence. right? We have started to violate the divergence here. We're holding with the original point. But if you zoom out on things, you go into futures, this can be a massive move just starting, the 2 hours curling up into positive territory. But if we reach up like this and then it fades, you would still have the reversal signal on the SPX 500. That's why I pay attention to it. It can help me out a lot of the time. I'm gonna put you guys on the spy. I need to check on some things real quick. Put you guys on here real quick. Okay, still holding on the MACD, not on the RSI. All right, so as we are starting to violate divergences, we got to see if it's happening on volatility. It's about to. So if this continues for positivity, we do not see this fade this dramatically in the next, I would say, hour, you might have yourself an extremely bullish move, like a crazy, something 32% chance, like you could end up at the top side of a weekly expected move next week, and all you get is a minor pullback. So we want to see if weakness shows up today. This is going to be very, very good move. We're going to see people go to the call side. You're seeing that with volatility. You are seeing that you're starting to get to the point where it goes, okay, you know, maybe you pull out to an hourly and you go, okay, maybe that's the clearer signal, right? It looks very clear now, 30-minute, a little extended, right? So you want to see if the hourly can just turn back up. So if we don't see weakness today, be prepared, right? It could either be something completely messed up that they do over the weekend and actually rug pull with no signals, or we're going to see weakness come in today. We're going to get the hint and everyone else will be taken off guard. Love your details. Thanks again. I'm new to your fam now. Yeah, I just saw you subscribed. Hopefully you heard me shout you out. Thank you so much for subscribing. I do appreciate it. And thank you guys for liking the video so we can get more people like just me in here who ask good questions and are willing to accept some information, right? It's not just you ask a question and you have to like the answer, right? I'm going to try always, guys, always. I am being as honest as I can. I'm not trying to mislead ever. I'm sorry if I talk badly about a stock that you really like, but I have to be truthful with things on this channel. So I do appreciate you guys liking. I appreciate you guys subscribing. I just don't want to sugarcoat anything if it looks good or bad. Thankfully, we've gotten a lot that has looked pretty good. And I'm very impressed that you were in that at 161. I'd have to go back and look at weekly and monthly signals probably to see where that was, to see if it was good. But obviously it was. Yeah, there's a lot of scenarios that are bullish and bearish if they get down to certain points. Even the SPY. Like even the SPY. We can see how it's like, this is a great level. Can we do this? Pop up for a second, grab liquidity. But we haven't made those series of higher lows. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, the more we keep the debt system going, right? The more you keep pumping money, the more politicians start to spend, and the more, I don't know, they just actually manipulate certain stocks to hold other stocks higher. All those things will lead to a very bullish market for a very long time. So that's awesome. I'm happy for you, Mr. Pickle. MSTR still confusing. Let's go double check. I mean, it's not that confusing unless you have a bias, right? It's pretty simple here, actually. We took back the 5. If we cross up this MACD, where would it go? Positive. What happens in positive territory? Well, we have the chance to, I would say, test these highs, just because this could be a trap or something. But I would say test these highs or go make a new one. And then if I want to think simply on how I could head down, well, the 30-minute would cross down. And if I want to think simply on if the downside would be a trap, what would I do? If that 2 hour is going to curl up, well, what if the 30-minute does this? Right, I'm just trying to clear it up for you. Wow, DJT, let's see. There we go. No, we still have to complete the bar. 47 minutes. 47 minutes. This is one I took calls on yesterday. Common sense calls. Nothing too crazy, but common sense calls. Exactly, Kapil. Don't. And it might help you to be like, okay, what is the, you know, if you're really paying attention to a stock, write down the ticker in your little booklet. Maybe we should make booklets for you guys. Should we make that? Should we make little trading booklets that have a nice little sticker on them or something, some kind of text on them that just says, hey, trade like water. MMM technicals. Because you really should just write down, if you're someone who's a little bit more sporadic with it and really looking at a bunch of time frames. I know I encourage that, but don't do it too much, you know what I mean? I do it with key ones, right? 30-minute, 2-hour daily, right? If I want to clear something up, I'm changing it. Yeah, we can look into that, guys. I can set up a little something maybe, because that'd be fun. And I actually have a design for Trade Like Water already. It's pink. Used to be my daughter's. That's great. My wife would love that. She loves pink. But what I'm getting at here is just, if you can write down your ticker, and then write down the 2 time frames that are really helpful, and then under that, write down what you are looking for in those time frames. What are they looking for? What are you looking for in those time frames? Okay, so I have DJT. I have a 2-hour that's by the center line. I'm looking for that to swing up. Why am I looking for that to swing up? Next point. Okay, because I'm paying attention to a daily chart. Okay, so those are my 2. DJT, 2-hour chart, daily chart. I'm looking for the 2-hour to confirm up. Right under that, I'm going to write, why am I looking for the 2-hour to turn up? And I might even write that question. And I might say, and I used to do this all the time. That's why I'm talking about it. And then I might write, because if the 2-hour turns up, we're able to curl up the daily signal. And then you have daily right under that. Okay, I'm paying attention to the daily. Why am I paying attention to the daily? Because the 2-hour is seeing a good move. And if the daily turns up, that's even better momentum. And that's just a swing trade because it's in positive territory. I can write all that stuff in little notes. And now I know the exact things I need to pay attention to, and I don't need to divert past that. And then I can say, underneath it, did I take the trade yet? Yes. Underneath that, manage the trade. Because if the 2-hour turns right back down and goes negative, all of this energy will be distributed down. Do I think that is likely? No. I actually think the more probable move is upside. That's why I have money behind it. But just because I think it should go up does not mean I know if it is going to continue to go up. So I have to be willing to be wrong. I have to be accountable. I have to get rid of my ego, right? I got to get rid of my ego for a sec, and I got to be like, okay, I could be wrong, right? Always say that to yourself. I really think I'm right. I have this, and this reason that I could be right. What if I'm not seeing things correctly? How could I be wrong? What could convince me I'm wrong? Well, if the 2-hour confirmed back down right now, if we never confirm this up right now, I could be wrong. How am I going to react with that? I can write that in my notes too. Semi's looking for a bounce. I actually like AMD. There it is. AMD, I like the signal. I'm just really worried because the big, unless AMD has short sellers in it or something, and it's just weird. The reason I'm worried is because of NVIDIA setting up this lower high here. If NVIDIA sets up a lower high here, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. You have a big head and shoulders. If we go over to, you do have room to go higher. Do you know pretty much where your resistance is going to come in is 141.12, our line that we really like, right? We're pretty much stuck in a zone and we can't figure out which way we want to go. We keep reacting into it and we see reactions down, we see reactions up, but we keep reacting to this into this zone ever since October, like the beginning of October. Now, what did we say yesterday? Hey, you're outside of a weekly expected move. You have 30-minute divergence, right? On the MACD, not on the RSI at the same time. We've said that a lot this week because a lot have popped up. If they are not at the same time, you have to always be open for a retest to the 5 that can fail, right? Because they're not at the same time. So if this 30-minute turns down, that's bad. If it can create a reversal, okay. But if the 2-hour rejects again, that might get bit bad. So what we want to see is, does it create structure? Do we see a move that takes us above that 140, 112 and then curls down? I think that would be something that really tricks people. But if this curls up, do we want to be bearish? No. You're taking back the 5. You're crossing up a 2-hour. You could start to see an uptrend over time. Right? This could be the opposite way. Do you see what I'm saying? A lot of head and shoulders, a lot of bearish and bullish signals could pop up at the same time. Because I have this base, I have the left, I have the right, or I have the head, and then I have a right shoulder that could form. In the opposite side of talking about it, I have this in the shorter term. I got that line, that neckline. I've got this left. If I can get a good reaction, get all the way up to here, and I back off, ooh, I got a left, I got a head, and I got a right shoulder. See, I could go either way, and now you're ready to react. Look at this. You got it now. It's great. How do we know which one's playing out? Well, if we get up to here on the 2-hour, and the 2 hours by that center line, and it crosses down, right? That crosses down. We see 30-minute weakness in here. If we don't see that, we could potentially move higher, back off, see a 30-minute in here, turn up the 2-hour, boom, off to the races for NVIDIA, right? Now we know both scenarios. Now we know both scenarios where we're just ready to react, right? Those are 2 highly probable scenarios to play out, by the way. Thank you so much, Short Fridays, for the $5. How can DJT not go up as we get closer to January 20th inauguration date? They aren't fooling me. I would say just let DJT continue the good news. Today, the market does close early. But I wanted, oh yeah, sorry. I wanted to show you this more on AMD AMS. And thank you, Herb and Zoo. NZOO, thank you for subscribing. DJT, 4.5% so far. We're just paying attention to the signals, right? And if we pay attention to both sides, if we be open to being wrong, we're able to see, hey, that's a very consolidative move. The daily really looks like it wants to curl up. That wasn't a technical thing. It was just me saying, hey, the price is getting tight. Does the daily have big reversal signals? Well, if the 2-hour confirms up, then that could be a good signal. And I think that daily is going to turn up. They've said some good news lately. I think that took market makers off guard based on the short sale volume that's going on. And then now it's come down dramatically. So, but AMD, the reason I would pay attention to it is just because if it's a good signal and I know how to manage risk, there could be an opportunity here. If this 2-hour crosses up, you got it on the MACD and RSI at the same time. You could be in a daily bounce. What if the market does just scream past like 602, you know? So I just want to show you that real quick. The daily is rather negative here. But the 2-hour is showing a great signal if that can confirm. Has not confirmed yet. As far as DJT goes, trying to confirm in 40 minutes. So great. I like it. And my calls are liking it too. So I'm down and I know how to manage risk. I just bet the farm on volatility. I'm really about to. If I can see a reversal here from the SPY. I am notice where the weakness is coming in. You think I just randomly come up with these lines? No. Why would I? You know, people always ask, how high or low do you predict this could go? Well, am I going to use a thought in my brain out of a random place? Am I going to use a random bar that could be support or resistance? Or could I just see what people are betting their money on and know exactly how high or low this could go? That's Patreon. What option trade you make on VIX to bet the farm? Actually, someone should. I'm not betting the farm, guys. I'm never betting the farm. I'm sorry that you're taking that, Terrence. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not. In the course, we say this multiple times, Terrence. What's the fastest way to get rich in the market? Who's taking the course? Who can tell me what is just an example? If you're betting the farm on volatility and trying to make $1 million, you're probably taking a 2 to 4 week out 2 to 4 week out call option worth anywhere below, I would say, 40 cents. Slowly, Justin. What is the fast way to make money in the market? Perfect, Justin. Love it. Love it. The slow way is the fast way. Everyone thinks the fast way is I buy this dollar stock and it goes up to $100. The true fast way is the consistent way. The true fast way is trading like water. Just wanting to understand a good hedge. Actually, yeah. Now, you wouldn't want to bet the farm on a hedge. But if you're like, I think that, and this does look like a bullish market. Let's not lie about this. This looks like a good bullish market right now, but we're seeing bad signals. Have those signals proven yet? No. So technically, we can't talk badly about them. If the 30-minute turns down here, we can. We can start to. If the 2-hour confirms down after that, we can start to. So if you're like, hey, yeah, I just want to hedge, then you just don't bet the farm on it. You do the same thing, right? And then once you see these things confirm, you can go, okay, now that hedge is paying off for me. It's saving me my loss now. Now I can be out, wait for the next bullish setup. Fast way is to watch Lucas daily. I hope that is the case, guys. I genuinely do. But you're just going to note that if you're watching me, I'm the slow way, right? I always will say the slow way. I will always say the slow way because it is the fast way. I've made money really, really fast in the market. I've lost money really, really fast in the market, right? Don't get me started again. Don't get me started on my fundamental trading. Don't get me started on that company that was fraudulent. Don't get me started on Zillow, man. Don't get me fucking started on Zillow, man. The slow way is the fast way, guys. Being willing to be wrong, having accountability, it's the fast way. All right. But it's actually a really cool question that you turn that into. I actually like Terrence turning that into a hedge question because that's very good. That's very good to ask. That is a very good question to ask. And I hope you enjoy the answer. And the answer is you're thinking about it very correctly here. If you're saying, hey, maybe instead of being that risky guy that bets the farm on it, what if I just say, hey, we're in a bullish trend, let me hedge this. And really the market tends to go up a lot. Maybe I'm just looking for bullish trades. And I could say, okay, let me hedge. This is a moment to hedge. How do I want to hedge? Well, I could take something that's very cheap, and if something really bad happens, it will save me a big loss. I think that's awesome. That's very, very cool. What about GME? Let's see what it's doing. Down 3%. 3%. Not good. DJT up 5%. Cha-ching. Thank you, thank you. They're fucking with it, man. They're fucking with DJT so hard right now. GME, though, 2-hour, right? 30-minute first. Can the 30-minute react off the 5? What are we seeing right away at the 5, right? And I know this is going to change during, but we just tested this level that was the 5. We're wicking. We're wicking. Not doing magical spells, but we're wicking. All right? So the 2-hour, if this crosses in 34 minutes, you're going bad, right? That's bad. We're losing the 9. That's not a good thing. So you're hoping for a GameStop that this is going to be a blip, or this just wicks up right now. Because if this crosses, it does have major weakness in it. You see it across. We see multiple point all the way across. Not a good sign. Very almost flat, but a little bit up here for the near one. But that's still a sign of weakness. The good part about this weakness is it gave you multiple point, which always gives you the opportunity to actually see another move higher. I know that's weird, but because you got multiple point and this came higher, you could base out down here and turn back up, right? But this signal is known to roll over daily charts. So when should I be a little bit fearful of GameStop going down? When the daily turns down. You need daily momentum to see these things go up. Technically, I haven't even left. It's just this week I have Thanksgiving, so I already set up everything. I like to schedule things out for the holidays, so technically I'm still there. But I'm trying to use these weeks where I have time to dedicate a lot of time to you guys, to really just ask you guys, like, hey, if you want me around more and more, if you want closing streams and stuff like that, like these videos. The thing that I could do right now, which maybe this is a good thing to ask the chat, the thing I could do right now to potentially get my limit to be like, okay, YouTube is worth even more of my time. I can stop doing the marketing and things like that. Is if I make like a $10 closing live stream, like a exclusive $10 a month closing live stream. That's what would do it for me. That would probably tip it over the edge. Just being honest with you, that's the numbers I ran. And so I just hate, I've always been bad at this, and I really respect people's hard-earned money. I genuinely do. That's why you'll see if I get a 5-minute donation, I probably say thank you like 8 times. Because I really respect it. I didn't, I didn't do the corporate way. I always wanted to do my own thing. Yes, Nyson, and I did want to respond to you because I saw those emails and I was like, yeah, I am doing it. I'm discussing it. I'm looking at the logistics of it. I'm looking at the pricing of it and things like that because this is just the channel getting started. But I think by Christmas I'll have your answer, and I think it would be a great Christmas deal what me and Nyson are talking about with Patreon. But I wanted to. It's just because... what's the best way to put it? The time to value ratio for YouTube right now is not good. Like, I'll be live today for 4 hours, and if no one donated, I'd make $5. And so what I was doing was, my wife's actually an artist. She's working on some emotes. We were going to do a support the channel tab where it's like $5. And then if you want to do more than that and get exclusive closing streams for just the members only on YouTube, then we would do $10 a month and you'll get the emotes too. That's what I'm looking into. Yeah, I do the marketing from home. I just have to go out and take pictures every once in a while of the local companies, and then the other ones send me pictures. But I don't really want to shout any of them out because then if they figure out, they're probably like, they like me. I'm very good at it. So I don't want them to, I just never want to get fired from anything ever. But I guess if I got fired, I'd probably be putting up, I'd probably be like, well, I'm going into YouTube. I got extra time now. Well, kind of. I guess I could trade more. But then I might trade too fast. I don't like trading too fast. Right? I might take too many trades, make a mistake. I like my flow right now. My flow is really, really good, and I don't want to ruin it. Upside before dividend 12 if we can expect NVIDIA will be upside before dividend, and NVIDIA is doing good stuff. NVIDIA is trying, but notice where the 5 is when it loads. Notice where the 5 is. We haven't taken that back yet. AMD and TSM. We haven't looked at TSM. We did look at AMD. The main signal with AMD is 2-hour divergence, but be aware that NVIDIA is showing extreme weakness. So if this doesn't confirm the 2-hour, and you need to know how to manage a trade because NVIDIA is potentially curling over on the weekly this or next week. But thank you so much for the $5. This is Spider. This is really what we want to pay attention to. 2-hour divergence. This is what we've been talking about for days. Ever since this low, we made this move. We go, this is on the MACD, not on the RSI. So be open to this curling down one more time for the double dip. All right, we've said that for, what, all week. But you might not have been here, and that's okay. And I appreciate your $5. And so this hasn't confirmed yet. That's a big thing. 2-hour has to push up, go positive. Look how close that is to the center line. Great look for AMD. All right, that's the main thing you need to watch. Hopefully you know a way to manage your risk, because AMD, I want to show you this, Spider, because you're specifically asking about AMD. I'm going to bring it up again. This is AMD on a monthly chart. This is not good. This is really freaking bad. I don't know if recently it's gotten short sellers in it because they want to make NVIDIA look good. I don't know. I can't tell you that. But I can tell you that this signal is really freaking bad. You got to get rid of that signal to go test this high, go make a new one. You got to curl back up on a monthly, and you know, we don't really see those signals just yet. How bad it was this time, it can get worse this time. I just want you to bring that to your attention. TSM, well, once again, TSM, we want to really pay attention to NVIDIA, because do you know why this is climbing up and climbing up and climbing up and violating the divergence on the MACD? Well, it's because of NVIDIA. It's just because NVIDIA. Every other one I go click on, it's going to be probably not the best, right? There's just a few. So what do we notice here for TSM? Well, we don't have it here, but we do have it here if we start to see weakness, all right? So what do we want to look for on the weekly or daily scale? Well, let's go through it. Let's look at the weekly. You gave your hard-earned money. I want to show you something. Look at the weekly. Does that look good or bad? That looks bad. That looks like weakness in momentum. That is negative divergence. That is triple negative divergence on your RSI right now between these three levels. Notice this. When we talk about this all the time, I'm going to keep doing it because I think it's one of the most useful things you can hear. This is not on the MACD. It is on the RSI. What happened? Bad things. Now you have it on the MACD and RSI at the same time. What can happen? Worse things. But I want to mention this as well. There's always potential to see another bullish run. We are in a very bullish trend. So if the daily can curl up here, what's the most likely thing to happen? Well, we're probably going to either create that lower high because we're a little bit negative, but it is very likely to go test these highs and go make a new one, right? So now we know everything. Now we know everything we need to pay attention to. Wolf, this is one as well, 30-minute. We talked about this. Hopefully that was helpful. And RGT, I'll look at that in a sec. Sorry, Sid. Thank you for kind of asking a few times. 30-minute has curled up. I want to see an hourly curl up for sure, but I like this look a lot. Wolf saw a great move. We called that at the bottom. That was great. We used the short sale volume. I used my theory to do that. We went to a weekly expected move. Used the short sale theory again. Still testing it. I'll share it when my conclusion is set. I need a few months. But this convinced me to take profit. I wish I put $10,000 in this trade. But it was too risky. I was just testing something out. So I think it was what, $100 into $1,200 in a matter of a couple of days. That's great. And a weekly expected move got me to, with a few other things, got me to take profit. I see a pullback down to the 5, and it just curled up on a 30-minute. If it curls up on this hourly, it's a little bit smoother, right? 30-minute, a little drawn out, but that means we can go see a good move from Wolf. Why would I want to be paying attention to a good move from Wolf? Zoom out. So if I was in my little booklet, I'd say an hourly cross up. I'm looking at that because that can cross up a daily scale, and the daily scale is already crossed up. So that means daily momentum is with me. It adds more credibility to this seeing a better move. Maybe just to like 14, maybe 15, maybe the gap fill, right? If I get lucky and it gaps up and goes, awesome. What was it? RGT. Let's get to this real quick, guys. I know we got a bunch to look at today. RGT. Ooh, this is some liquidity being built here. This is very interesting, I will say that. What I would say is something's gonna come. I'm gonna come, Donald Trump. So the crazy thing with this was you've made good signals like multiple times. You just can't see that breakout. So you're looking for the breakout above 1189, very obvious level. 1189, very obvious level, right? If we can break through that, that would be good. So does that have potential right now? Let's look at the 2 hour, right? Because if you start to lose, we probably should mark off the bottom as well. You're kind of in a wonky range here. If you start to lose 1097, somewhere in that area, it's gonna be a little bit rough. So what we wanna see is the 2 hour pulling back? Not really, and I don't like these bars. So immediately we can't really look at these type of bars. But you'll notice the 30-minute, like it just all looks the same. So we more so just want to see, can we break the high? Can we break the low? Does that fade, right? Not the best looking thing, but I can tell you, this thing will move eventually. It will move eventually. It was really, really big swings, tight, some medium swings. Maybe it gets tight again. We'll see. I don't think this one's that clear. Yeah, I wish I had more to say about it, but I'm really just looking for a break of the range, to be honest. Planning to roll just checking which one will be good for options trading. Both can be, but more so the full technical analysis. If you really want to do options, you got to be able to analyze very well. That's my opinion. Swing trading, you guys know, I started off with swing trading, you know, in my technical journey, and swing trading was something I did not do options with swing trading. I did 2 hour, 4 hour, and daily swing trades when I first started. And I would, you know, you don't think it's beneficial. I only had what, $20,000 to start. And I think even with swing trading, I think I did it on crypto a few times to make the numbers good, but I think I was making like 5 to 10% a month. And that's because, you know, obviously you have some bad months, but on average, I think it was about 5 to, I would say 7% early on. And then that just exponentially grows if you stay consistent. But I think I did it with crypto back then to really help myself out. Is trading worth it? It depends. You really have to be willing to, if you can't let go of your ego, you can't, if you're one of those people that's going to show up to a YouTube channel and just spam like I'm right and you're wrong, probably not for you, honestly, for the long term. If you're someone who can be accountable and be like willing to be wrong and manage risk, those are the people who really can do well. And then be honest with yourself, Tarek. Right? If I'm honest with myself, if I'm sitting there and I learned from Lucas and I'm trying to trade the 30-minute charts and I'm trying to trade things like good opportunities, and maybe I'm seeing them, but something I'm doing is a little off, right? Maybe in here I tried to do it and I messed it up somehow, even though it was a big gap, right? And we had great reversal signals, right? That's great. But if I'm bad at that, be honest with yourself and say, well, what am I good at? Well, that daily trade I took 2 months ago went really well, and then I started doing these 30 minutes and my account gets beat up. So what if I just look for daily trades, extend out those expirations, or even just not use options at all and take a lot of the risk out of the game and just work a good job, be consistent at my job, and then invest over time with the bigger amounts of money and not even have to trade that back and forth and really just invest based on a monthly scale too. Right? It's being honest with yourself. Knowing all this information is great. Applying it and execution and timing, those are the big things, especially when it comes to options. You can really help yourself by letting go of your ego, admitting that you're not good at something. I've had to do that with earnings, right? We've talked about earnings plenty of times. Earnings is a 50-50 flip. How did I learn that? I got really beat up by an earnings a couple times. And then I just go, man, I must be bad at trading earnings. Because I'm a technical trader and those get thrown out the window, of course I'm going to be bad. Any of them. Born to Win, if you are just getting started, I can tell you that everything I have on my screen right here, you can have with just the basic package. I am not someone who's going to tout and say, yeah, pay hundreds of dollars for something that's not going to be helpful, even though if you use my link down in the description, I am an affiliate with them. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you, if you want to be good at trading, you technically don't even need those packages. I don't like ads, and I like to add a few extra indicators. If you want everything on your screen here, you're going to need the essential, the one that's like, I think on the sale, it's $120 or something right now. If I suck at something, I try to suck less. I'm going to tell you something else, right? So Born to Win, I hope, yeah, you can do the very basic package and you'll be just fine. And then if you want to, and you see some upgrades later on, wait till next Black Friday and get 70% off. Do you add to a trade if it's going the right way? It depends. It depends. So it depends on the signal. It depends on the time frames. If I have a 30-minute signal that leads into a 2-hour signal, right? If I have two different time frames and I'm wanting to get a first position with the shorter one, and then I want confirmation from the 2-hour divergence to really say, okay, we're gonna get the daily pullback, then I can get one position with the 30-minute, another position with the 2-hour. Or I can take one position with the 30-minute, let that play out till that 2-hour crosses, and if I see that a bounce might come, if I'm at a weekly expected move, I can take complete profit, let that 30-minute bounce, turn down one more time, reapply the position. Now the confirmation has happened. Oh shoot, is it in there? Ah shoot, did I put the, did anyone see it? Let me see the description here. Oh, okay, it's right underneath here. I'll space it out for you. So it's a little, oh shoot, I did that wrong. Oop, done. That was my bad. I'll space it out for you. I got a bunch of links now. God, I hate having a bunch of links. So it's in the description, you'll see TradingView Black Friday deal. Use my link. I typed 2 Y's there. And it'll be that link there. It says tradingview.com, affiliate ID 146007. It is just underneath the technical analysis and an option strategy course. So it is the 3rd link from the top. Let me save it so it's kind of more spread out for you. Yeah, just check it out. It'd be nice if one person wanted to do it, because then I'd see if the affiliate's working or if there's a time crunch there. But I just thought, you know, we use TradingView all the time. And I think it's this too. If new people come in, they'll always get like $15 off, I think, after Black Friday. I don't know if it'll happen with Black Friday because of that deal is so good. But afterwards, if someone misses Black Friday, they'll get like $15 off. I think it's like $15 off if they do the annual package, which saves you a month pretty much if you do the essential. It's good. Volatility is starting to hold a little bit there. Where am I getting all these? What is this person? No, sorry person, I can't, probably can't, I don't want to be DMing with people on Twitter, no thank you. See, we're still seeing it climb. We're violating it on the 30 minutes, so now we have to be open to this going up. We also see it in the futures though, which is very, very good. So we can keep an eye on the futures, and that can be a confirmation as well. Mara, great move from Mara. Look at that test of the 5-day moving average. Then it curls up one more time, and we're violating all the divergence. Man, Mara looks pretty damn good. Wolfie looking pretty good there. And DJT, is it holding this? We just got to see if this completes in 2 hours, or in 15 minutes, this 2-hour bar. Go explore here. Let's check on the memers real quick. Sorry, I'm not reading chat for just a split second here. 30-minute curled up GME, getting a reaction off the 5-day, reacting back down to it now. Micros, not the best potential for a double dip type of move. Gosh, man. Is the dollar gonna reverse around yet? This says a 4-hour or even potentially a daily curl up here. More likely 4-hour with this type of look, actually. Unless it's on the 4-hour. Yeah, it's not. So you see how the 4 hours deep. You just want to check on that before you say, hey, a daily can turn up, because we could just do this, confirm back down. This just means, hey, there is potential for this move to last. Which we said on volatility, okay? If this move is going to keep lasting to the upside, we're going to look for reversal signals like we found right here. We're going to look for this type of stuff right over here. All right, we're going to look for and see if something pops up. That's what we're going to be paying attention to for volatility if we're going to keep seeing bullishness here. Right now, we still have a little bit of time left for the day. So let's just focus on the charts. That way we can have a great weekend and we can all not go Black Friday shopping. One of my least favorite days of the year. Take some long side. Well, it's just, I can't really like advise you. What I can say is if you're seeing a signal that you like right now based on your strategy, that's a good thing. What I can also say to you is, how do I put this? I don't know how long out your option is. I don't know how long out you're trying to hold a trade. I don't know if you're investing without using options. Because if you're investing without using options, we can look at a monthly and just say, hey, is this the best time to invest? Well, the last time we were at these levels, the real best time to invest was actually right here, right? 457. Right? That's just simple MACD behavior. This is just swing trading. This is why swing trading is good, though. It can really simplify it. The simple stuff is good too, guys. Now, the last time we were up here on the MACD, well, was that a great opportunity? You're seeing the same thing right here, right? Pretty much, right? So was this a great opportunity right here? Or was it better to be patient in that moment, even if it did keep running higher and then it saw the pullback and then it goes back up? Which one's a little less risky? So is it a great opportunity to hold this for 12 to 24 months right now? No, I think it might be one of the worst times in history to invest. We'll see. We'll see. That has to prove itself. But just based on common sense, I'm not going to pile 100 grand into the SPY for an investment for 12 to 24 months right now, just because the last time we were here, it was shitty. Yeah, now we're shitty with divergence, so I don't really like the look. You know what I mean? Just really try to simplify it in my head. Look down at my tattoo and go, the simplest answer is usually the right one. Gonna add more on Wolf at 808. Start of the weekly diamond bottom, breaking target 17 to 23 around early January. That would be very cool. So I don't put the daily because, and we've done this with Patreon, and I've had people come in there, and it encouraged day traders to join the Patreon. And day traders, they want info on Patreon, info on stuff all the time. And I was getting countless stuff, countless emails, countless this. I'm like, look, guys, I'm taking them off the Patreon. I am not a day trader. I do not encourage day trading. I think day trading is one of the easiest ways, especially if you're pretty green. It's one of the, like green as in new. It's a very easy way to lose a lot of money fast. That is not what I'm trying to do on this channel. I'm trying to be helpful to a big portion of people. And so to tell people day trading can really help their lives is just a lie. Out of 100 people, 95 of those people will fail at day trading. So that's why. But Sid, we still give them out on YouTube every single night. And we still show up every day live and show them off, right? So all you have to do, even if you don't want to watch the YouTube video, I understand. It's your guys' time. I'm not going to sit there and try to control what you do. I'm just saying, if you need daily expected moves, click on the video real quick. I'm sorry about that, Sid, but it truly is a situation of a few people took it way too far, and I'm not willing to do it again because too many of those people exist. Yeah, we need this thing to move faster. Okay, wait. You want the market to move faster. Okay, then. What you need for the market to move faster. Here's what you do, Justin. If you want the market to move faster, you call every retail trader you know right now and tell them to all in all their money with calls, and then the market will go down really fast. Definitely not financial advice with that. But you really want them to rip around this market and start to see a downturn, you tell all retail to start buying calls here. Yeah. Make a few calls. I know you got connections. Please do not do that. Please do not do that to your friend. He will not be your friend for long. and then watch your friend does it, and then the SPY goes up to 610 in like a day. In like an hour, and he bought like YOLO calls for next week, and then it just rockets. He makes a ton of money and he says thank you. You're like, ah, shit. Qs still haven't broken above these wicks, and we're looking for if that can really break through. 2 hour is trying to curl up, so this is an important 8 minutes here. Pretty bullish. Let's see. IWM, really? You're gonna stall out, really? I mean, it's got the divergence. That's why I'm worried about it, but. Sad to say it's a gambling addiction at the end of the day. I actually take a set number out of my account like every month. I try to take a percentage out of gains every single month. It's not the best for my taxes, but it is okay. It's like a good habit. I'd rather do good habits than have them make me do something to keep my money at risk, right? Technically, you don't make the money on a trade until you hit the sell button. And I would say even technically, you can't utilize that money really until it's in your bank account. Oh, I could do it. Oh, I could do it. I could do it, but then I would see a great signal and be like, oh shit, I want to take that. 30-minute here for DIA. Notice that is outside of a weekly expected move. If you guys are nice and you guys are great and you show it to the live video and you like, all you have to do is ask and I'll give you the weekly expected moves for Dow Jones. I can quit whenever I want. I swear. It scratches throat, Dave Chappelle. Yeah, Sid, and that's always a good thing. But yeah, I like to, any month that I have profit, I take at least some kind of percentage out, right? I have a percentage set. If it reaches a certain number, that percentage will go up, right? Like if I get a big enough number that month, if I have enough percentage gain, then I'm going to take money out. I'm going to keep it in my bank account. At these times with the banks the way that they are in so much trouble, starting to potentially keep cash and just a little bits of gold. Can we check 1 hour for Tesla? Yeah, you're very nice, Kapil. You've been very nice all day. I like it. We like nice people. Yeah, it's trying to curl up. Here's the thing. You got to be hypercritical at these moments. That's a negative bar. It's a curl up, but that's a negative bar. Okay? So you might want to wait a little bit more time just to see another bit of positivity, because you notice the RSI is crossing back below that center line. This is why a negative bar can be a problem. And you're right at the 5. This could be rejection, right? I'm just giving you reasons why you might want to just wait and make sure it's a little less risky for just a short term. Divergence to the downside. If you're talking about negative divergence, this is negative divergence. So negative divergence, just to clear it up for you, negative divergence is when the move is going up and your indicator is pointing in the opposite direction down, right? Positive territory, but you're seeing a negative divergence between the price action here. So do we see positive divergence anywhere for Tesla right now? No. Could you? Yeah, you always can. You just want to see daily expected move maybe comes into play. Maybe we see something like this. We see that curl up. We go like this. We see a divergence there, right? And you guys tell me to slow down if I ever need to slow down. I know someone the other day was new, and they were like, man, you go really fast. And I do go really fast. I ramble, I talk, I do all those things, but just let me know if you need me to slow it down during anything. Roll pull. The old roll pull. Yeah, I know. Rug pull. Yeah, we got you. Well, we'll see. Weekly expected move would be. This is the danger zone. And the dangerous thing is we're doing this. We only got like, what, an hour left? Do we got an hour and a half left? Something like that. Okay, first of all, Natsuko, thank you for grabbing the both courses. Thank you for dedicating yourself to some learning over the weekend with some swing trading and the full technical analysis, the investing and trading course, the using technical indicators course. I think that's awesome. You got both. And also, I think your name is awesome. Natsuko. That's so freaking cool. And your last name's Kobayashi. If that name's real, that is sick as fuck. The second thing is, Eduardo, thank you so much for getting the course this morning. Really appreciate you. And thank you to everyone yesterday who got it, who I couldn't say thank you to. I like to say thank you a lot, guys. Especially around Thanksgiving. Okay, we need to talk. What the f is this? What is this? Be careful now. Who just said rug pull? Because if that crosses up, why? Ooh, you're not seeing it at the same time as the SPY. Why is volatility reacting first? We wait to see a reaction. Hasn't curled up yet. Don't get too pumped. I'm just making you aware of it. I know I got too excited in my voice. I'm not trying to freak you out. I'm just saying this is reacting. Someone always knows before you do. If this keeps reacting, then someone knows something here, because the SPY is not seeing any weakness right now. But we're approaching the weekly expected move, and you're starting to see volatility move. Someone in the chat, keep an eye on volatility for me. Let me know if that 30-minute crosses up, okay? Someone with multiple screens. I got 2, but I got stuff to look at. No assumptions. That would be the best way to trap both sides. You trap the bears, right? This is why it's so bad. If something bad happens over the weekend, right? We see a gap down. This is why it's so bad. You trapped the bears. You convince them this market can't go down. You trapped the bulls. You see a little bit of weakness come in, and then you flash down next week. That would be bad. I'm just saying, this is a very bullish move. We haven't gotten confirmed signals. One signal we need to watch out for is volatility. We're getting a little spike there. Nothing too crazy. But if we do that, if we get like 2 more of these, that's when you start to go, ooh, maybe I don't, maybe that hedge is looking a little good. You know what I mean? Maybe that hedge look a little good. My guess is retail's the one in. Yeah, institutions are most likely not doing too much. I'll tell you who is doing a bunch today, though. Hedge funds. I actually will say that. Hedge fund short sales. Truth Social is a new avenue for announcements. Deutsche Bank, Global Head of Foreign Exchange Research George Saravelos said Tuesday during the first Trump administration it was Twitter. That's true. I guess he's mostly putting stuff out first on Truth Social. I need to check out that platform. I know I have an account. I know I have an account. I just gotta see. Any follow-up? Well, it's gone. It's randomly gone. It's gone. It's gone. Now they're gonna tell you that's a glitch. Oh, there's a glitch. There's some kind of glitch in there. Yeah, or they're doing fishy stuff. Or they're flashing the PCC to 1.7 so that calls are cheap so they can shoot the market higher today. Or there's someone that put a huge order of puts in and they're not letting it hit the tape now. Or it's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence, okay? Nothing bad happens. Come on. They wouldn't be trying to trick you. They really don't want Trump in because they're not tricking you. He's wrong. No, I'm just gonna be honest. That bullshit happens all the time. Get used to it. You know what I mean? Exactly, Terry. I'm watching inside the candles since the whole move up at all-time high, and trust me, I see a big sell orders. Yes. Oh yeah, I am going to be in communication with. God dang it! See, this is where I'm gonna have too many links down there. Maybe I won't do it. I don't like having a bunch of links in my description. Bookmaps still wants to do a partnership with me, and yeah, I think that would be very helpful for a lot of people. It's not something that I see as like 100% necessary, but if you're doing shorter time frames and options, it can help. We'll see. I'm supposed to email them back, get touch base with them next week, and then we can see if we want to figure something out. But God, I hate having a bunch of links on my goddamn thing, man. That always annoyed me as a viewer. If I like try to read someone's description, all I see are links. The second time we have reached 600 on the SPY. America's economy, people. It's all based on how these big companies do. It's not based on your wallet. America's economy is fantastic because we go into more debt. We use credit cards in our government to pay our debt and overpay, and then actually we don't even pay our debt. We just take out more credit cards and put more on it. Today, short Fridays, come on. You could have bought a week out and just be a little safer, and if things go wrong, you're out of it. That's funny. Scam Street. I still haven't forgotten the AMC GME initiation video. The stocks are finally doing the thing. They are doing the thing. This is very, very good potential for AMC. That's so funny, short Fridays. Yesterday, short Fridays went from, I'm going to sell it at 95, buy it back at 85 to, you know, make a little bit better cost average, to, I'm buying calls today. I'm gambling. Credit card rolling, infinite money. Yeah. And it helps when you are the credit card company. When the government's its own credit card company, that's a big problem. I'm gonna go check over on volatility on my other screen. Still holding that pretty good move up, 1.7% in 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes so far. So someone hedging. That could just be a hedge. Good morning. I noticed on your YouTube, Microsoft was not being covered much anymore by design. Not necessarily by design. I actually never covered Microsoft too often. I'm thinking of replacing AMD with Microsoft in the update videos. Right? It's a hard way because I really try to gauge what you guys are, and I'm genuine, I'm trying to gauge what you guys are paying attention to, and those are the stocks that I found that people want to pay attention to the most. I don't get asked about Microsoft a ton. Now, we do talk about Microsoft in Patreon, Claudio. Yeah, in Patreon, the weekly update, we usually do talk, about that on Patreon. Do I have some plays set up here? Still being a little bit patient on a play for volatility, right? Seeing if the SPY will react badly off of the weekly. And what's the other one? And then AMC, GME, DJT. I like those. This guy. This guy, you see that green blip? I took it on the swing trade, the 2 swing trade signal, managing the trade on my other screen. But yeah, I have a bunch of memers right now. I have a bunch of memers, and then I'm looking to see the volatility calls for the real. It's pretty much like fun account, fun account, fun account, fun account, real account. If I'm gonna make a play, I'm gonna wait for this. You can't find the links down there at all? Make sure it's not the comment section. It's usually the description. I think no assumption. I think volatility is kind of agreeing with you. Someone is hedging here a little bit. Okay, this is the zone. This is the big zone. This is like the real resistance zone, but really it's this whole block. But for today, that's the zone. BKKT, is that doing it again? God dang, BKKT. Oh, this is gonna be a 2-hour. Yeah, 2-hour swings up. Ooh, that's good. Okay, you have 2 of the swing trade signals, looking for the third one. Good. 1.5 hours left in that though, just so you're aware. They broke it, Reese? How did I not catch that? They broke it? I was reading that at the beginning of the week. Did they really? And there should, yeah, there should be, yeah, the links are in there. If you can't find them, you can click on any of my YouTube videos real quick. They're all in the description. And thank you guys for I think I see 91 likes so far. That's awesome. Try to get it above a hundo today, but yeah, good look, good find, BKT. This is exactly what you want to see, by the way. This is a great lesson here because people ask about earnings. People ask about massive moves all the time. Oh, should I get in here? Well, it doesn't mean this can't go higher. It's just, is this a good opportunity right now? Right? That's a good question to have down in your brain at all times as a trader. Is this a good opportunity right now? Or am I late? Was the good opportunity here? Was the good opportunity even here? This was a good opportunity. This is a FOMO opportunity. And it doesn't mean it couldn't have kept going. It just means the opportunity will set up for me if there will be one that's not as risky as right now. This is risky to say, yeah, that's going to keep going. The less risky thing is you pull back on a 2 hour, you remain in positive territory, and you curl up into positive territory. Yeah, now's your potential for opportunity if that can cross. If it doesn't happen today, well, you know, if you know how to manage risk, you do have 1 and 2 of the swing trading signals. Very good. I like that one. Thank you for bringing that up. KKT is the one that had the news with DJT. And both of them are starting to turn up at the same time. Spire starting to roll over here. Let's see if it retraces this time. Really just want to see if the 30-minute can remain up. And then in the futures, make sure you're still holding at least the divergence on the futures. This is a tricky one. I'm not going to lie. It's tricky, but you can see. You can see it's holding in the futures. So even though the market's trying to trick us, which, you know, maybe something we actually need to do today. Extend the trading hours, go to an hourly. There you go. On these times where you're seeing a random push down that did make the futures hold the divergence better, it is good to include that, right? This is not something I ever do, right? This is not something I do even 5% of the time. This usually you don't need to do this, but in this case you do. It's extra tricky. Make it easy on yourself. Include those extra bars. Notice that we're starting to get tight. Notice that we're getting high, high. Ooh, high, lower high, lower high. If this crosses down on even a 30-minute at this point, well, maybe not 30-minute actually. I like the hourly look. Okay, so now what do we know? We know this is here. So what can we do in the market? Well, we can just take this off, write it down in our notebook, take it off, and say we know it's still there. So we're looking for if this 30-minute can cross. The ceasefire is broken, then Lebanon shot Israel. Israel said they would not break ceasefire unless they are fired upon. They have the right to defend themselves. Everyone should have the right to defend themselves, but we're more so going to pay attention to, hey, how's the market going to react? Once again, it's another thing that says, if this 30-minute crosses down, am I going to be really bullish? And we have a huge Lebanese community here, like where I'm at. I have some of my best friends growing up in college, Lebanese, right? Like someone I used to, you know, I have a kid, so you can't hang out with people all the time, but my dad works very closely with people from both of those sides, which is very interesting. So, yeah, pretty much what I'm getting at is I'm not trying to get political in any way. I'm just trying to see how it affects the market. SoFi keeps squeezing, man. It does. Has that 30-minute crossed down yet? Nope. Yo, I feel you on that. I'm a peace guy. That's why I actually will say one thing. I did like the candidate who said, I want people to stop dying, because that's something I can relate to. I don't like hearing that crap. That's it. I have no idea how to solve the problems, guys. That's not my thing. Blue staggered line is the 5-day moving average, Raphael. Now, the reason that we have a 5-day up is because when you see these big moves, you're going to revert back to the 5, see the big move, revert back to the 5, see the big move. Once you lose it, you got to be a little fearful. But we see signals in here that still look pretty damn good, right? So 5 can really help you. I will update this as well on the course so you can get this up. This is something I've been using for 2 months now, or about 2 months, and I think it is really freaking helpful. So I want you guys to be able to get this on your chart. In order to get this as well, including everything else, you might have to get rid of volume if you don't have any kind of package with TradingView. If you want to have volume in all this stuff and Bollinger Bands, which we haven't pulled up in a little while, but I use them on my other charts from time to time. If you want to get everything over here and more indicators, then I would say like 3 or 4, right? I think I have like 6 on here right now. They do have a great deal today, guys. They have a great deal today. It should be down there in the description. If you're having trouble finding the description, it should just be about or description or something like that, and you'll find it. And we have pop-ups that pop up every once in a while. These links, they'll kind of help you if you want to scroll through chat and find it. DJT, an update. Still looks good, man. Still looks good. Still looks good. Confirmed. It's confirmed. Now, does this mean we're out of the woods, or is this really close to the center line? It's really close to the center line. So I can't feel good about this just yet. I need to see if that 30-minute rotates down. Right, if this is going to suffer, if something happens overseas, if something geopolitical does happen, these stocks could still be affected by that. So we're chilling. Let me go check over on volatility again real quick. Volatility trying to get another green bar there. We'll see if that happens. I feel like I should do something. Please. No, it's not worth. Holy crap. All right, volatility options for next week are kind of nutty. So no thank you. Never mind, not doing anything crazy. That was quick. I convinced myself out of that one pretty quick. High IV is going to make options more expensive regardless, because the potential big move is expected. I want to remind you something too. Something from the movie The Big Short. There were 2 younger guys who turned, what was it, like $100,000 into $30 million. What was their strategy? Their strategy was looking at the market, looking at certain things and saying, okay, what is the market not expecting and what would be really cheap and what are we noticing? And so they actually look for times where IV is lower, which is something that we've talked about with AMC and GME, right? Now, it's not low right now, but I'm just using it as an example. I'm just using it as an example because when the IV was lower, do you know where the IV was lower? Remember when we were talking about IV is lower for the last few weeks? It was in these moves here. It was in this bundle here. And then that's exactly where we made the basing out 30-minute divergence that called the bottom, right? That was when the IV actually became lower for AMC and GME. So higher IV, it's just going to be expensive, and it's going to be really expensive if you're going 3 months out. So unless you're really confident, going far out of the money is pretty risky. No, GME, don't do it. Don't lose the 5, GME. What are you doing? It doesn't even have the best reversal signals right now, so this would be, it's on the RSI, so it doesn't make sense. It's not on the Chinese stocks. I've heard the investment into Chinese stocks like Baba. I've heard some people talking about this. It's in a positive trend. It's taking back the 5. Let's look at this. Daily reacting off the 200 saying, hey, I can be a swing trade to the upside. It's not in positive territory, but you're above the 200. Do we have a 2-hour convincing us, hey, this could be a good opportunity? Not necessarily, but you're taking back the 5. I think you are at risk of a turn down, but you have the potential for a good opportunity later. Daily turns up, daily swing trade, manage the trade. 2-hour turns down, watch for this. You might be able to get in that swing trade a little early if this gives you that real basing out, because you're pretty down here. You haven't fully tapered. So I think that would be a great look for BABA. But yeah, you can just see they've been beat up. The opportunity could be there. Just a simple swing trade or a 2-hour divergence. That's what I like to see. You go back over to the SPY. We've got to keep our eye on the SPY towards the end of the day here, guys. I think this is important. I mean, we can look at micros and stuff, but I don't think you're seeing much. Oh, you are seeing the squeeze behavior right now. Not necessarily want to read into it too much as divergence because we're far away on the 5-minute, but this is squeeze behavior. That pointing straight down, this pointing down, while we're just, that's squeeze behavior. But we'll see. We still know it's there. We know if it doesn't fully close outside of the weekly, then we know it's there because we included the extended trading hours. And then it clears it up for us a little bit. Especially on the hourly chart. I like it on the hourly. Jeffrey, are you dedicating yourself to some learning this weekend? I think that's freaking fantastic, man. Let me know how it goes, guys. Please, if you are taking the course over the weekend, please show up to the live video, okay? I think it has a high potential to painting services. Also, I might need your services. Yeah, if you're dedicating yourself to some learning, just note you can always come back to this live show, ask a question. If I can answer it live, I will. If you ask a good question, I want more people to benefit from that question than even you, but I will focus on your question for the time being. So come back on Monday if you take the course and there's something you wanted to ask about. Awesome. Come back live on Monday and ask that question. And the best part is sometimes even a person in the chat can answer it for you, not just me, so you know it's coming from someone who's learned from it and benefited from it. Yo, Lurkin Luke, where's Lurkin Luke today? By the way, I love your lives. Hey, thank you, top tier. Do I think the SPY dumps? The only thing that's worrying me about a SPY dump, by the way, is the fact that we're still heading higher and volatility. It made this move. Someone hedged. Someone hedged, and that was a pretty good move there. The other thing that's telling me to be a little bit weary is we noticed, and I pointed this out at the beginning of the video if you weren't here for the beginning, the dollar is trying to go back into the correct correlation, I would say, the one that makes more sense. The dollar goes up, the stock market goes down. What's been happening here? The dollar's been going down, the stock market's been going up. Now you're seeing the dollar start to reverse around. So if we start to see the SPY turn, you have a reversal signal here for the dollar. This could be a 4-hour curl up that needs a 4-hour divergence, but it could curl up a daily chart. I'd like to see it on a 4-hour to curl up that daily because this is more bars in it, right? DXY, the Dixie. But if it gives me a 2-hour, I'm going to pay attention when the SPY looks like this right now on the 2-hour. Flat divergence coming in again here for the SPY. So I'm paying attention. You have high potential there for a risky move down. But if we burst through and we get rid of those signals, we need to be aware. Okay, you gotta be aware. Well, yeah, you could say that every day. You could say, oh, I missed this. Oh, I missed that. Oh, I missed this. What were you actually looking for coming into today? Were you prepared to react for a move to the daily expected move today? Were you prepared down here for us to set that trap like we were talking about before it even started? You know what I mean? You got to make sure you're prepared for the next day. That's why I think booklets would be good, right? Write down what you're thinking, right, Kalani? What am I thinking? How am I going to move tomorrow? What am I going to do tomorrow? Right? I just keep that stuff for the most part in my head, but I take notes during the stream. You guys hear me click around and type for a little bit of time? That's usually me taking a note on my little notepad, which I got to clean up my notepad right now. And I have my booklet right behind me. When we have the cam on, you guys have seen, I've written in my booklet plenty of times. So I need to delete this, I need to delete this. We looked at that for Nazim yesterday. Now I know going into the weekend I need to make SoFi weekly expected moves for Patreon. update the monthly moves for Patreon, and make monthly expected moves video update for Patreon. Patreon's getting a ton of value on Sunday, or at least you'll get 2 at least, and then we'll look at that update video soon. Go long on Piton. Long to the moon again. Onda's just like, I'm catching it, man. Well, you're not hating it. This is a Friday, and this is one of the best closes you've seen, but they won't like $5 close. I'm going to tell you this, all right? I don't know if I'm a magician, but if we don't see some kind of big moment today, the high probability is we are going to close at 498. Because if you're above 450 and 450 is max pain, then it's going to be 498. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Shoot. Usually I leave the course on sale if we start to see a rip down. Unfortunate. Maybe if we see this, I think if we see the corrective move make a move up, we'll do another sale. It just won't be as good as this one. Isn't historically? Yeah, you're talking about seasonality. Yeah, so seasonality, there is a time in early December, like the first week of December, where you move sideways or see a downturn for up to 5 to 10 trading days. I'm leaning towards the down for, you know, we could still head up, we could still build this, but I am leaning towards like, hey, I think it's a test at the bottom of the channel maybe. So I think we could see something dramatic, and maybe that's going to be geopolitical, but I think you might see something dramatic, right? We'll see if that happens. I think maybe you'll just end up in this zone, but something that gets us down, get people pretty bearish, and then we curl back up. I think I was looking at December 16th. I'll have to see. Yeah, so it's just after like an election year, sometimes you do have the potential to see sideways or slightly down. But election year, it does end up usually giving you that Santa rally. We'll see. We did cross over to the upside. Okay, perfect. Thank you for reminding me to check this out. The 2 hour is crossing up now. You have an hour left. So you have an hour left. And then next week, you're not out of the woods with this, right? You got to retake the 5, you got to retake 141.12, and you got to be aware if there's weakness in this move at all, okay? This can still head higher into next week, but I'm just saying this could form weakness here, and you can see it down. Now, we already covered NVIDIA and just said that's the way down, the way up. Very obvious. We see a good reaction. We do this. Right. So now we know both options. We just got to see which one's playing out. And we can pay attention to a 30-minute in the meantime, right? We can see if this 30-minute could really do this, right? This would be great. 30-minute just breaks through, takes back 140, 112. We retest into it. Then we curl back up. Then we see a divergence. That's what we're going to pay attention to. If it gives us a hit, we're going to take it. So I'm going to mention it all the time. Yeah, Corey. Great find there. Yeah, the 2 hours crossing up. You got an hour left. You got to see, I like to say I think it was 80% of the bar, right? So if I'm looking at a 30-minute and I want to take a 30-minute play, if it's confirming the divergence with only 6 minutes left, I can do it. I can still manage the trade, right? Hometown last year when I was in the middle of crazy year 2024 has been. When I moved back to my old hometown. And Silent Ninja, thank you for subscribing. But yeah, when I moved back to my hometown, I actually just told myself, I looked at the housing market, tried to buy a house, and then I just couldn't make myself take that rate. I couldn't make myself take that price. And I just went, I'm just gonna rent something little and cheap that'll take my husky and my husky German Shepherd, who's laying on his back, loving life right now, and my pit bull. Okay, that's a great strategy. Thank you. Yeah. It's just to encourage you to always be thinking about risk. If I see a 2-hour turn up and it's 5 minutes into the bar, a lot can happen to change that, right? So I want to get to a point where it's like, this is looking really, really likely. If I'm going to take it early, I just need to have in my head manage risk. Thank you for the welcome and happy Thanksgiving. Yes, happy Thanksgiving, Silent Ninja. 420, that's what's up. That's what's up. No, really appreciate you joining. Actually, Silent Ninja, one, why did you make me think of Ninja Gaiden? And two, I'll look at a stock for you. Just please don't give me a penny stock. Please don't give me a penny stock. Penny stocks are some of the hardest to analyze, and all you can do is be like, is this a good investment? Like weekly, daily, monthly. IonQ. Ooh, I do want to look at IonQ. I got to look at this for my dad. Perfect. All right, the thing that I told my dad happened. Awesome. Watch out. This is what I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I texted my dad. I've been telling him about this. I said, hey, okay, I said, be weary here, but there's a very high probability, because I was looking at this and I go, be weary here. Now there's a very high probability you're going to see that 2-hour to swing back up, and then you're going to set up a triple divergence that then crosses you down. He knows nothing about what that means, probably. But this is a sign. This is a sign. If the 2-hour crosses down, that could be bad, and you're doing it right before the weekend. It's a risky one. Now, you would say, hey, that divergence might need it in the near price action to turn down for the 30-minute. You still have a strong move here. You could do this before that 2-hour does cross, right? And you could still hold the divergences while doing that on the 30-minute here is what I'm talking about. So potential to make a divergence in the near price action, but if the 2-hour rolls down, bad. That means you're getting a big daily pullback, right? Big daily pullback. Look at the daily. Ugh. Ugh. Is it on the MACD at the same time, though? No. So that could just be a pullback. That could be an opportunity later, right? You might put a little star on it, put it in your notes and say, hey, I need to check back in on IonQ in 2 weeks. You don't have to short it, right? You can just, markets are most of the time bullish, and if this is going into a bullish trend, what's going to be the easier play? Bullish trades or bearish ones? Bullish ones. Riot. First question for Riot. Does it have a short seller problem, Silent Ninja? Yeah, I've looked at Riot before. I just always wonder, and it's one that I haven't looked into. And whenever I look at a new stock that, especially like Bitcoin mining companies and things like that, you got to ask. We've looked at it before, though. You see the wedging we were getting at here failed to the downside. Daily looks good. Is there big reversal signals? No, there's not. There's not big reversal signals here. You don't even have it on the RSI. So the likelihood that you're going to see another push higher is pretty high. What would you like to see? 2-hour, might be a 4-hour pullback at this point. No divergence in there. So you want to make it as clear as possible. 30-minute, we see divergence actually on the 30-minute. It's not the clearest. So that's not going to help too much, but it will show the weakness in momentum. Will it convince me to take a trade? Yes, if the 4-hour curls up. Right? See how I can utilize and just see what is the simplest option. The simplest option is if I want to take this early on the swing trade, I have the signals for that. The MACD hasn't crossed, but I have the RSI above the center line, and I got the price action with me. So that says test the high, go make a new one. Did this 4-hour ever make a divergence? No. So very likely to go make that, right? This positive trend, pretty much you have a tight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could be it. But what if this is a whole new series starting? What if you're about to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? We'll see. Yeah, Riot, 4-hour curls up. Pretty bullish look there. It looks like a continuation of the trend that's happening. MSTR again? Yeah, we'll look at that in a sec. Let's go check on Bitcoin. Oh, shit. Okay, Bitcoin. Oh, no. Okay, good. It's not on the 2-hour. Whew, close one. This is the slowing in momentum. You have a 3 push higher. 1, 2. Oh, sorry. Nope. You have an ABC pattern. 1, 2, 3. Sorry about that. So watch if this 2-hour rolls. This could be a trap. Even worse would be the 4-hour rolls. That can be a trap. Then we can look out for 4-hour divergence, right? We're not bearish on Bitcoin. We are like, hey, a pullback's gonna happen, probably. But I'm not extra bearish on Bitcoin. I'm just going, hey, I'm looking for the daily pullback for an opportunity, right? That's what I'm looking for. If I look at the daily, I see it's pulling back. All right, cool. Slight divergence on the RSI, not on the MACD. So this is probably just going to pull down. People are going to say, oh no, Bitcoin was a trap at 100K, then it's going to turn back up. And then once we see this, that's when you want to be a little more worried. It doesn't mean bad things can't happen. They obviously can happen. But it just means we don't see signals of that right now. So that would be a little bit black swanny. A little bit black swanny. Let's go check over on MicroStrategy just to see what's developing here on the 30-minute. Yeah, you curl down on a 30-minute, bad. I'll tell you guys the opportunity, though. There is an opportunity, and that would be the 30-minute can cross back up after tapering, right? After you see this. Give me one moment. I said thank you to my wife, but I had my streamer voice still on. I was like, it didn't sound real. I was like, no, I'm muted, thank you. So yeah, that's what I would look for a great opportunity. What you're really seeing is we have a lot of signals that are down on the 2-hour that haven't confirmed, okay? Haven't confirmed. This is where both courses can come in, because if you get no divergence here on the 30-minute, you just want to pay attention like a swing trade, right? And that's not like the prettiest bar to take a swing trade on, right? I want that to be a solid, good bar. We do discuss that a little bit. But for this, I really want to see that confirmation up. This has seen great moves. So I am willing to wait for the confirmation and not try to, be greedy and take an extra, I don't know, couple bucks, right? An extra couple bucks of price action. No, I'd rather just see, oh, strong green bar. Okay, follow through. Then we can see this. So the swing trade is the first thing I look for. And then if we start to roll down, I can then pull into a 30-minute and go, are you going to give me a hint for this? I'll tell you exactly where I might even take a play on MicroStrategy. It's if we do this and we curl back up, maybe I have a weekly expected move right here next week, and we do this and we curl back up and that confirms, that's when I will take a play, manage my risk, right? I will manage my trade. I'm going to flip back over just to the SPY and leave it there because I think we need to pay attention to this in the last bits of the day. We are squeezing right now. Very obvious squeeze on the 5-minute. Holding the divergence point on the MACD. Now's where things start to get interesting. Do we violate the divergences and turn up and see this thing absolutely pop off? Or do we see the resistance come in right at our weekly expected move? We'll see. Oh, who played it perfectly today? By the way, I'm eating, so I'm gonna leave it on the SPY. So hold off on asking for some analysis on other stocks just for a little bit. Sorry, Silent Ninja. Just give me a moment here. I need like 10 minutes. I never took a break today either. But it's close enough. I might have to pee, actually, but... yeah, just give me a moment here. I've been doing this for... I've been trying to run and gun for you guys today. Really look around. I'll look at that, because that's simple. Hourly curl up, that's what I want. But I want to see if the SPY resists, and then I'm going to click over here. I'm just keeping an eye. Volatility still holding off that bounce too. Someone hedged. Somebody hedged. Just not a lot of people, but someone is hedging a little bit. It's me. Wait, who asked the hedge question earlier? I see it on the charts. No. I'm just gonna try to scarf down some eggs and toast. Yo, I swear, wifey gets better at making an egg every day. And she's already been good at it. She loves cooking. Let her cook! See what you guys are chatting about. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, fine. Who's got some big plans? You guys hanging out with family this weekend? Right? At the end of the day, this is freaking bars on a screen. At the end of the day, people around you matter. Let's go with that, you know what I mean? Who's doing something fun this weekend? You're not seeing... That's a big trap if it is one for the weekend. I will say that. I get to go see my niece and nephew today. I'm so excited. I love seeing the kiddos. Women cook, men hunt. I gotta see, man. I've never actually hunted before. I've cooked. I used to cook for myself all the time. Now I'm really bad at cooking. I just haven't cooked in a long time. Good wife, that's right, Blind Owl. Shout her out, you know what I'm saying? That is awesome, Lizard. That is something I do to help out most of the time at night. Wash dishes while she's putting baby down. That was you about hedging. Terrence, did you do it? Because I see it. I saw it. You did it. I saw it. No, that would be more... That'd be a big hedge. If that's one person, that'd be a big hedge, right, Terrence? If it moves the whole chart. Nobody's got anything fun planned? You guys seeing family? My brother's in town from Texas. He's telling me about Austin. You got a couple off jobs. I don't know what that means, Percy. I'm sorry. I'm not putting it together. I'm not hip. Apparently, I asked my niece. The kid. Oh yeah, Rivium. Let's actually look at that. I just finished my eggs. Meaning exit. Oh, do not like that 30-minute signal. Doesn't it remind you a little bit of like AMC? Yeah, it reminds you of AMC. It looks like the same thing. Yeah, it looks like the same thing as AMC. Interesting. So I'd be cautious. 30-minute curls down. Hey, that might say, this might not be the best thing. I don't know, short seller problem. And actually, let's look at Rivian. I can go look at that a little bit. We can try to find out. Kind of hard in real time, but... Oh, no, that's not what I want. Go look, let's see if they are fighting this thing. At least right now. Okay, so they fought it, and then it's like they said, job is done. You peaked on Tuesday, which usually means if it's gonna fall in the next like 2 to 3 trading sessions. So be careful if this thing turns. If it doesn't turn, it can still be bullish. More so the signal I like would be if just the 2-hour confirmed down. That's gonna take some time. The 30-minute divergence will give you a hint, right? But we're still above the 5, so it's not the most bearish thing. But the 2 hour is really positive. So we could see a pullback to the 5 that then curls up. That looks pretty likely for Rivian. If it's going to behave normally, then that 30-minute divergence is weakness in momentum. And that's saying a 2-hour pullback can come. If, you know, I don't see the most short selling in this, but hey, if it's there, obviously it can do crazy things. We'll see. But yeah, this is not what you want to see. You don't want to see this. Just like on AMC, you don't want to see this. You don't want to see it, really. But if it holds up, it holds up, it holds up, and you start to do some damage, that's when it happens. So Rivian, I think you're in the same boat as of now. You got a potentially bad signal for a 2-hour pullback. Or Rivian. Gotta call it like it is. Hasn't confirmed yet. That's good. I have a ranch just outside of that weird city. That's what I should do. Get a ranch. Sounds dope. It's likely we don't see that confirmation yet. That's the unfortunate part, Mr. Dan. That's the kind of the unfortunate thing about this right now is you're seeing a little 5-minute squeeze higher. You're seeing a potential for a trap being set. We just want to see if we get a hint. And volatility has based out a little bit. So if this can cross up, then the SPY might cross down shortly after. We're running into resistance. So this would tell me if I have Friday options in any way in the SPY, that's as high up as the SPY is supposed to go today. And if it's going to keep going, it's going to keep going. If it's going to keep going this way, you most likely will see some kind of sideways, some kind of down to then curl back up, right? Something like this, or something like this, right? So if we're going to continue to be bullish, we're just going to be able to keep curling up. That's when you manage risk, right? No confirmations at this moment, Mr. Dan. Caution going long here, big red candle on the SPY. Could be. I would say that too. I mean, it's definitely a cautious area. Shooting range in your backyard. That's what I want, Bernie. That's what I want. Happy, hate to see November go. She's been a good month. That's true. November's been a fun one. November's been interesting. Because this was what? This was November, right? These have been so good. This one, just a lower high one, really looked like we wanted to do it. And then we looked for the same thing here. That was great. So there's been some good stuff. Yeah, we got to be thankful for November here. It's been a pretty good month. The defensive would be another thing to grow their trading. I mean, yes, technically, historically, yes. I haven't been looking at a lot of that stuff today. I probably should. Let me go look. I just figure like short and trading day, I don't have to work, right? No. I don't have to actually like try, right? It's only 4 hours. No. You'll see. I like this heat map the best. I trust that one. Finviz. We're seeing a little bit. Yeah, we're seeing a little bit. Not a ton, right? I'm not seeing a ton. Oh, God. Trump is apparently set to maybe put out his plan to end the Ukraine war. Interesting. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. MSTR free falling. I mean, if that's not changed, yeah, you're probably, there you go. So there's a trap. And now you got to be thinking, okay, look for the 30-minute divergence. If this is going to make a bullish move soon, and this is just a scare, you're going to see a 30-minute. If this is a really bad move, this is going to keep going down, you're not going to see the 30-minute divergence, right? You're not going to see that positive divergence down there. So now we might have an opportunity next week. All right, we can see. You'll get that. Remember, I'm older. I'm getting older every day. DIA. Yeah, one thing about DIA, though, is it is firmly holding the divergence, like not even including extended. It is holding that divergence. It's kind of worrisome. It's good. You're squeezing. You're seeing something bullish. I'm not going to, like, say it's not. I'm just like, okay. DIA, where's my daily? Yeah, you actually have a bigger move than this priced in, technically. I feel like we had bigger expected moves for a 4-hour trading session. I thought that was weird. NVIDIA? We're seeing if it sets up the... First of all, it's got to take back the 5. It's got to take back 141.12. 2 hours crossing up. That's a good thing. That means we could see a lower high. If we build up over time and go back into a positive trend, we could see positivity. But you just got to be aware. The weekly signal is really bad. It's unconfirmed now. But if you confirm that next week, like if this is some kind of 2-hour trap and then you confirm that, that's not going to be pretty for NVIDIA. But it's like, hey, curled up, so positivity for a little bit. If we can go back to positive, we can make the little head and shoulders up here, right? Either way, I'm not playing NVIDIA to the upside at any point. That weekly is too close to scaring the fudge out of me. NVIDIA's last great trade, right in here. NVIDIA's really great trade was when we found it down in, what was it? Yeah, it was here and here in our zone. That was great. Yeah. Well, you just said it looks strong today. So if I was wanting to take a short position, would I start my analysis with, man, this thing looks strong. I should short it. You know what I mean? Or could I just be a little bit patient? Maybe there's a different opportunity. You know what I mean? Maybe there's just something a little different. Maybe Palantir. If that curls down on a 2-hour, maybe that's a little bit easier. You know? Someone mentioned Amazon. Yeah, I would hate to be like, damn, this move looks strong to the upside. Let me short that bad boy. And I just punched the mic, and I'm sorry for your ears. That's all I'm saying, Kevin. You get what I'm putting out there. The more with NVIDIA, if it's going to curl up on this 2-hour, we're going to see it head up for a little bit. The way you know that this is going to be a right shoulder is if we start to see weakness, right? If we start to go like this, and we go like this, and then we go like this, and then that falls, that is when you have potential for that to be the lower high. Okay, Kevin? It's not to say you can't be right on taking a short here and it randomly falls down. That's fine, right? Curls down on the 30-minute. Okay, but you don't have much time left in the rest of the day. Do I want to take some kind of YOLO, this thing's going down or this thing's going up, especially when the 2 hours curling up? Do I really want to YOLO something going down and just unconfirming over the weekend? No, I'd probably look for a little better opportunity if I can find one. SPY still going. Holy crap. Okay, SPY, you're going to violate the divergences. All right. Yeah, this is a massive trap at this point, or we're violating the divergences, and this thing's going to go for another run here. Maybe we consolidate a little early next week, but if we don't give this up, if we don't give this up in like 40 minutes, this is looking good. This looks very trappy. But we're starting to violate those divergences. Let's pull this out just to make sure. That's the blip. We want to see if it's holding on the hourly. You see how we're coming even with it? You've got about 39 minutes. If that can fade, you would have the divergence still intact. Between this point, you'd still have it all the way across and like on the 2-hour, but you wouldn't have any hints on the shorter time frame. This looks like it's trying to violate stuff. Me, if it looks like that, the hedge sounds pretty good. Q is still not doing it, man. They're struggling, but It's a good move. You can't disagree. They needed Nvidia to participate. Remember we said that 3 days ago or so? It's like you want this market to go higher, Nvidia has to bounce, and the weeklies were suggesting that. That's good. Just we're gonna sit here together and talk all day and watch some green bars form, huh? Is that a trap, Blind Owl? That was good. That's good stuff. Yeah, but Kevin also, like, more so ask about the signals, right? I'm not trying to tell anyone what to do. I'm trying to more teach you like what I'm seeing, how I'm seeing it, and then you can really know, like, it's pretty obvious if I'm like, yeah, this looks like, hey, we see some weakness here. Just we see weakness to the upside. That's probably an opportunity for a downside play, but I'm not. Oh, sorry, I got an email. I'm not trying to tell people what to do with their money. You guys worked hard for your money. I'm trying to teach more, like, be accountable for your own money and make good decisions. That's more what we're getting at. But obviously, I'll analyze a stock if you ask me about it. Nvidia looks like it's trying to make a right shoulder as of now. If it sees a bigger reaction, well, then you would say, hey, we can make a head and shoulders to the upside. You guys, now there's nothing in our way to Christmas. I get my first Christmas with my new baby. Don't tell her. We got her like a real kitchen, like a little kitchen thing, because she always wants to go in the kitchen with mom. So we bought her own kitchen. Why is that wicking? Yeah, it's hard to be patient on a day like this. Now, here's the thing. Me, I'm going to look at this at the end of the day. I'm going to look at it outside the weekly expected move, and I'm going to go, hey, I can afford it. I know how to manage risk well with my position size. I can take a first position here. Probably going to. Yeah. I don't have to risk a bunch. Just do a little 2 or 3 week one. There you go. We're outside of a weekly. I can take it. I can sit there. I can be like, okay, I know how to manage risk. And then if this 30-minute curls down, okay. If it curls down, I can add more. If the 2-hour curls down, I can add more if I want. But this way, it looks toppy. It looks like a trap. So I'm going to treat it that way. I was really waiting for volatility to turn up on the 30, but you're seeing that start to break a little bit more. That was our kind of hint. So if you pointed out, that was the hint. This bar was the hint. Hey, watch out. Something could happen here. And then we know SPY starts to do it. DIA starts to wick out. Qs start to go red. Doesn't mean it has to be some big downfall, but this is the trap we were looking for, just a little bit more extended. I kind of wanted the trap to be here, but they were able to push that fuel. They fueled it higher, and bam. So TLT, we can look at that briefly real quick. Triple divergence here for TLT. So just a hint there to watch out. But on the daily side of things, this thing is breaking out. That could just be consolidation to head higher. The 10-year yield, just looking at this on the 2-hour, does it show similar signals? It does. It shows divergence on the MACD, a little bit up for the RSI. So this means yields could see some kind of bounce here. If this curls up, that would be bad things for TLT. I mean, the yields are heading up and TLT is going to curl down. And you notice the 2-hour, very positive. So most likely it's just going to be a 2-hour to pull back to that 5 if it's not going to get super ugly. That's the most likely scenario. If it goes negative, it's probably going to be worse than that. All right. Let's go stare at this 30-minute real quick because we saw a wick coming in right when I bought volatility there for a second. That's dope. Oh, it's not wicking anymore. We'll just keep an eye on it. Like I said, you know, if I really think I have enough reasons to at least take a small position as we're heading into the weekend, and I can afford to do it, and I know how to manage my position size, I can do it. It's just I'm not going to put a full size trade in it until I see confirmations. I'm sorry, I was putting something down. Do you get what I'm saying there? Does that make sense? Like, does that make good sense? PCC, there's not a lot to, you're right in the middle. Now you want to look at what's been happening for the last few days. Well, let's see. Well, since November 19th, boom, call, right in the middle, call, little lower in the middle, call, little lower in the middle, call. One thing to look at here, something cool, is look how down the daily MACD is for PCC. It's not something I read into, but isn't this interesting that this is so low and about to curl up? Well, why would the PCC curl up? Two scenarios. You're going to experience something bad that forces a bunch of people to think they need to buy puts, right? People buy puts at the exact wrong time. So if this is reacting, it could be maybe the right time initially. And then as we keep going, you'll see that put level get really high for a long time and then be like, okay, now I'm seeing reversal signals. The other situation is we see a big upward move and everyone tries to short it and we experience a short squeeze. Yeah, so there is a portion in there, Jeff, where we talk about, I think we use the example of, say, $10,000. And so what I did actually a lot with my $20,000 was originally I just was like trading with the $20,000, but I found it way less risky, especially as I started to do options, to use 10% of my portfolio at that time. And I still do this almost to a T today. I actually use less than 10% now because I don't have to risk that much to make decent money every week or every month. But originally with that 20,000, a good thing to do if you just have that little amount is just say options. I'm going to use 10% of that for options plays. And then for my option, like the actual contracts I'm buying, am I going to buy $2,000 worth of contracts? Am I going to use 10% of my money and risk 10% on one trade? Probably not the best idea, but what I can do is I can take 2,000 and say that's what I'm going to use for options. The rest of it I can invest, I could trade on the shorter, I could trade on the bigger time frames, invest. And then with the 2,000 I can say, okay, but my first trade, I'm not going to use more than 10 to 25% of that money. So technically you're taking that risk down to $500 with 20 grand. Now, what does that mean? That means on one trade, 1 week, you could potentially make, I don't know, 250, 500 if you're following the signal. But it means if you get beat up and you have to manage risk, aka you see that turn down on a shorter time frame and you go, okay, I need to manage this. This is not going the right way for me right now. It's really close to the center line. It's curling down to -10. Whatever you got to do. We talk about it in there, but hard to do it in real time for this second. I would just say this. You're saving yourself a lot of stress. A lot of stress. Because if you go into a trade, you're new, you saved up 20 grand and you want to make a $10,000 play, and then all of a sudden a gap down happens and you lose 50%, you just lost 25% of your money in like a week. It's very good to be treating your money, and I still do it too today, treating your money like, I don't want to lose this. So I'm going to make good decisions. I'm going to wait for good opportunities, right? So yeah, a good way to put it is like, if I have 10,000 and I want to get started, I want to see if I can become a trader. Okay, then I'm going to use 1,000 for options. And since I'm new, or since I'm just new to options, maybe I've traded markets a lot. Maybe I even have a good strategy. It just sometimes it's a little weary. Okay, then out of that 1,000, I'm going to only use up to $250 for my first few plays. So then if the first play goes good, I can use 250 again. Now, if that play goes good, okay, now I'm immediately in a positive trend. Does that make sense, Jeff? Don't risk a bunch, right? Don't risk a bunch. That's the main thing we always try to do. Position sizing is very, very helpful. If you're really confident in something, that would be golden setup. Still have your limitations for a golden setup, all right? Talk about more about trade management, how much of your portfolio you take on any given trade, profit taking, etc. Yeah, profit taking, one. This is the first thing I want to mention about profit taking. Gut feeling. If you have a trade that is good and it's not, and it's making you nervous, what's the problem with taking 20%? When you're like, I haven't hit target, I'm supposed to hold this to there. If you're not feeling good while trading, you want to be very calm, right? You want to be pretty calm. So if something's making you not calm and it's making you worry really bad, you can, take a few, take a little bit if you want. You know what I mean? It's just a gut thing there. Now, the other thing is, this is where weekly expected moves really come in handy, daily expected moves come in handy, monthly expected moves come handy. If I see a 2-hour divergence that says a daily is going to swing up, let's say this. Let me do this real quick. So since we have a 2-hour divergence, I'm going to talk about this. This is very beneficial, so pay attention, all right? I know I've been eating, doing all kinds of stuff, but this is a great question by Jeff, and I want to shout him out for it. Thank you so much for getting the course too, by the way. But what we want to see here is, VIX is rising. We'll check it in a second, and we'll get back to the market. We have 30 minutes left, right? So the thing is, we're at the end of a month, all right? We're at the end of a month. That is huge. You get so much information from knowing you are at the end of the month, and we're about to get updated monthly expected moves. That's why we put them out on Patreon, and that's why every single time at the end of the month I go, it is the best time to join Patreon at the end of the month. You'll get weekly, monthly, and daily expected moves on Fridays, right? So you're about to get new monthlies. Let's say we close here, okay? Let's say we close here today, and we end outside of this move. Okay, we ended outside of a move. Happens 32% of the time. Not even that crazy. But let's see, next month's expected moves are, say, here and, I don't know, here. All right, very tight. I'm just giving you an example. And I have a 2-hour divergence, right? Let's move this down a little bit. Let's move it into the zone. That's probably more likely. Let's do something like that and something like that. All right. So I have a 2-hour divergence. Let's say that confirms. What if that confirms? What is the most likely thing to do now that I have that information? Let's say this confirms, and now I have a short. What is the most likely thing to happen if I have a month out call option for this when you see a 2-hour divergence? Well, the daily's going to cross. Well, if the daily crosses, there's divergence there, but I know the month of December, I have a limit to what the options market is pricing in. And I can always hold runners, but what I'm saying is that 2-hour divergence up here could lead to the daily coming down over time, and you're going to have a level that says this is where big support can be. This is where the options market, people put their money behind this and bet on this. People with more money than me bet on this, right? So they're predicting this. This can be the best support. So if I see that 2-hour divergence confirm, the monthly, I can take a month out option for the end of December, target that bottom side monthly. If I don't see reversal signals in a 2-hour in here or anything like that, I can just sit there and go, okay, awesome. I'm going to take profit right there, or I'm at least going to take a big portion of profit and leave some runners in case something really bad happens. Does that help, Jeff? Understanding those monthly expected moves, how they can be utilized for taking profit is very good. Weekly expected moves too, man. Super useful. Look how big that month was. That can't be right. That isn't, there is no way that is right. Why is that 536 so low? Oh, it's because we saw the rapid move up, right? Okay, so we did have a bunch of volatility coming into this month, huh? I feel like that's not calculated correctly. No, it is. Okay, we just ended at a low. Okay, so we ended at a low. But notice this, all right? Now let's notice something else. Let's just do like a 4-hour. Let's talk about swing trading with it, taking profit. All right, so this was the end of the month. This was the beginning of the month. We got the new updated move. I saw a 4-hour curl up right here. What's the most likely thing to do? Go to the monthly expected move at that point. Boop, little trade, right? If you really think very simply with these things, it can help a lot, right? That's why I say, like, I used to use a bunch of indicators to trade. And I realized when I really simplified it down, it started to get better. Do I cycle them? No. It is bound by the calendar month. So it is pricing in what people's bets were a month out, which is kind of good with volatility. Yeah, you're more just saying like, what is the options market pricing in by this expiration with 30 days to go? Those don't move. The ones that move, and the way that this works, Robert, the good part is you make weekly ones as well. So the weeklies are more the ones that are shifting, while the monthly ones are just hard lines, right? The weekly shift every single week, the daily shift every single day. Usually I break the profit targets into thirds unless things go against me. And that's fine. If you have your method and it's working for you, I'm never going to talk badly against it. You know, there's a million different ways to do it. That's just something that I like to bring up to people. And we say it pretty often on this channel. Hey, if I have an option here, this is as high up as the market's predicting it to go with a 68% confidence of that holding as resistance. You know, that's kind of like, okay, maybe I should take 68% of my money out of that trade and risk the 32%, right? If I really want to like go down and be probable, be like, all right, 32% chance to see something crazy. All right, cool. I'm going to take 68% out and leave 32% in, right? That's a line I could put for myself. Someone mentioned VIX. VIX moving up, not crossed yet on the 30-minute. I don't know if we'll cross by the end of the day. We only got 23 minutes left. Let's really watch the SPY here. I'm going to keep volatility up on my other screen. Great question, by the way, Jeff. Thank you so much for taking the course. Really appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys today. I think we're having a great stream. I know it's a shortened day, and you guys are showing up, and that's something to say, man. That says something about who you are. You're a dedicated person. I think that's fan-freaking-tastic. I'm here too, though, so I get kudos. I'm here too. But it's cool. You wouldn't see all this stuff. You wouldn't hear all this stuff if you were here today, so I appreciate it. Oh, dude. What was I doing? VIX. And dollar. I want to check dollar. Okay, dollar hasn't moved. VIX getting a little wick there. This is squeeze behavior on the 5-minute. Very interested to see if this keeps going. That's great. Yeah, so you're violating on the hourly. Ooh, just barely with the last bar. This is either we're gonna squeeze or this is a very big trap. Like one that's violating some signals. You still could technically save multiple point if we turn down from here, but my goodness, that would be a pretty crazy trap. Let's look at a 5-minute. Let's see if we get some crazy minutes. Should we look at a 1-minute today? Come on, we only got, what, 21 minutes left. Let's see. Well, there's a lot of weakness on a 1-minute. There's always a lot of weakness and a lot of strength in these trends. This is a squeeze, so I wouldn't read into these divergences too much. But we always say pay attention when it starts to get, interesting. Little more significant there. Hasn't curled down on the MACD yet. But that one's a little bit more significant than what we've seen recently. That's a little bit, oh, that's holding the direction down on a 1-minute. This is fun. We don't look at 1-minutes often. Still a squeeze though. Don't let a 1-minute convince you to do anything, guys. 1-minutes are sketch. I just thought we'd have some fun just to see the bars move more. And that way, if we see a massive drop, we can be like, that was fun. That's super fun. Yeah, the weird part is, as I'm looking at volatility, looking at that scaling, already got one little piece there, is the option values aren't losing value, and that's because of the reaction from volatility. Someone else is hedging, just slightly. Oh, yeah. You're welcome, Jeff. Like I said, I appreciate you taking the course. If you have a question, I want to make sure you understand it, all right? I want this to be as helpful as possible for you and everyone else that comes in. Listening down from New York for the week, seeing family. Hey, that's dope. My wife's from New York. Technically a Jersey girl, but she's from New York. Top of the market set on Black Friday. We'll see. It is the thing that was weird to me yesterday was the blip from PCC was very fishy. Because you only see that at crashes. You only see that PCC do that in crashes. At like towards the bottom of a crash, people get the most bearish and they're completely wrong. We could show that off if you want. And who's Matt? My name is Lucas. Percy, that's great though. That's great though. I'm glad you're enjoying the beach. I wish I was. What's gonna happen? Watching a 1 minute for fun, guys. Don't let it convince you to do something stupid. Stupid is as stupid is. Yeah. All right, let's see here. What are you guys thinking? IWM ripping higher into the close. I will, on my other screen, just keep my eye on a few names here. Are they gonna hold? What did I say? AMC will land at 498, at 495. And GME will close. Oh, they want a GME below $30 for freaking sure. Oh my goodness, that's funny. Oh, god dang it. Yeah, yesterday was a mess though. My sister had someone throw a tequila bottle out of their window. It went under her tire, popped her tires. Then I went and replaced her tire with my brother. And then the spare tire that she got was a piece of crap from a new car, a Honda. It was a piece of crap. And it popped. Like we put it on and we were like, yeah, it's good to go. All right. Me and him have changed tires before, right? So like, all right, it's good to go. And then we just saw it. Nothing wrong with the car. Just we slowly watched that thing just go psst. And I was like, wow, this is the, and it was really thin. I was like, this is the shittiest spare tire I've seen, especially for a new car. Sorry, watching SPY still climb is hilarious. It should have never breached 536.50ish in my opinion back at the start of the year. Are after hours, overnight, and pre-market directions meaningful? At times, yes. We've included those a little bit today. A lot of the time on Sunday, before I do my analysis, by the way, I will look into the futures to see how they're behaving. Or at least I'll make my video with what we have right now. And then when I wake up, I kind of look through the futures to see what happened and see if anything's important. Today, something happened, right? Today, something happened. That's why we're looking over at this, right? Because we got this blip down, and that means more than you think because it bought us that time to get that weekly and still hold the divergence in the futures, but not in the regular market, which was starting to violate them. So we could see, hey, there's some hidden weakness here that you're not seeing during regular trading hours. Do I think, I still am someone who really enjoys just regular trading hours, looking at the flow, because I think the volume's better. That's just me, though. That was a big cut by automakers. Yeah. Why didn't my old cars? I swear, my cars, my like 1990 Beamer growing up, my 1996 Volvo, like those cars had like a full tire. That's why I was confused. I was like, man, this is the shittiest tire I've ever seen. It literally was like a like just full dainty little plastic almost rim. It was like a sheet of metal with plastic filler over it, and I was just like, this is trash. And then we were putting it on, and I was like, man, I hope that thing holds. I looked at the tire, I'm like, man, I hope it holds. All right, here we go, SPY. What are we gonna do? Because that's some downward pressure. Let's see. Still an uptrend, still looking squeezy. Just so you're aware. I'm gonna go pop over on my other screen and make sure volatility is up on my screen, not like up. Hopefully you guys had some fun today though. Okay, cool. So we haven't crossed up yet. God, even the 1 minute's kind of boring right now. I just want to be like, are we gonna land back in here? We've got 12 minutes left. Okay, cool. I got 2 minutes here before the last 10 minutes. I gotta pee. Super bad. I'll be right back. Back in 30 minutes, 24-hour stream. JK, we're off in a little bit. I won't be back in 30 minutes. I'm taking that down. All right, guys, give me a couple minutes here. I'm gonna go pee. Yo, got on here at like what, 8:30? What is that? 3 hours? I think it was 3 hours or so, right? From pretty much right now, 3.5. Like 3 hours. No pee break. Come on, that's pretty good. Okay, for a guy who on his travel soccer team used to be called Squirt because I had to pee all the time because I was a tiny little guy. You didn't know I was 4'11" when I got to high school. I was on the varsity soccer team. I was 4'11". But yeah, for a guy who used to be called Squirt on his travel soccer team as a kid, it's pretty good. GRFS. I can look at it on my other charts real quick. I can't believe they're just car companies are cutting corners everywhere, huh? Oof. Yeah, that's an ugly one. But why is it going down? Well, because at the last time it was in a positive trend, it gave you the lower high, and then it gapped down, and it's never been able to build back up. And you're not forming divergence or anything, so that thing is falling off a cliff right now for GRFS. Yeah, for GRFS, just real quick, you'll notice there's these times lower highs are important. Okay, and that's really close to the center line. We cross over. That goes negative, gaps down, never goes back to positive. So that's why this is heading down still. The momentum is still very much so in the downward direction. Hey, you guys got weekly expected moves for free now. Oh, big boom! All right, we're going to keep squeezing. Cool. How the hell did that pull over? But you guys get weekly expected moves now for this week. They update on Sunday, guys. I'm supposed to be paying attention to... Ooh, volatility still turning down. All right, then. Are we about to see it? No, not holding. This is why I can't look at 1 minute. Like, my theory would change every 5 minutes. We're McChillin'. That's the new thing at McDonald's you can get. It's an icy with weed in it. It's called the McChillin. Who wants one? Now introducing the McChillin. Only sold in Colorado. Got a number 2 before the game. It's a must. Yo, facts. Also, look at that grab at the top. Oh, I thought they were going to take out the stops here somewhere. Like, I kind of was thinking to myself, it's a 1 minute chart. Are they going to take this out or take this out and then go the other way or go the other way? McDonald's will sell beer. IWM, a little dump there. Ooh, not good. Ooh, that's not good. Ooh, and this never confirmed up. DIA, is that suffering? Uh-oh. If that DIA turns down, you got yourself maybe a trap here. This 1 minute's fun, though. Let's keep it going. Let's see if we see a flush from the SPY now. See if the SPY follows. IWM, and it looks like Dow Jones seeing some shit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Where's that weekly expected move? What, we got 8 minutes, 7.5 minutes left? Uh-oh. What if? Very unlikely. Daily expected move here. What if it just goes BAM? It's back in the daily. Sorry, I just yelled in your ears. Banks curling. I'm going to go check on that. Banks are at some serious risk. And you did have the yields in TLT given reversal. Are banks about to, are we about to see yields go nuts? Interesting. Weirdly enough for KRE, oh, you have 2-hour divergence. So you could see one more move up, maybe that rig move, but daily pullback looks like it's coming for KRE. I gotta show you guys, oh, fuck, SPY's right here. I'm gonna just show you guys the 2-hour divergence real quick. You notice that it's kind of retesting the 5, so there's that chance to move higher, okay? But there's your 2-hour divergence. Very, very clear. Very, very clear. Hasn't rolled over the daily yet. And you notice that was touching the 5. So there's always, for KRE, it was touching that 5. And then we'll see if that's able to turn back up. It's losing the 5 right now. Let's bump up the time frame. 5's not liking it. 30's fine. 1 minute's fun. Let's pop over to the Qs. They're still good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's not as good. That's not as good. That's not a good sign. That's good. IWM, bad. DIA, horrible. SPY, to follow. Maybe. Are we going to use the weekly as support? The 1 minutes are fun. Mara showing a bad daily candle. Yeah, Mara, the short seller theory with Mara was it's supposed to go down soon. That's my thing I'm testing out. Do you use volume? I'll check it. But I'm not going to use it during market hours. I don't think you can read into volume too much. We know that today's volume is going to be light. Llama Mama. But yeah, I have it up here for a reason. I do check it to see if there's anything about it that I want to talk about. Like, if we probably put it up right now, you're going to see, ooh, okay, let's see. Came down, started to rise, came down, start to rise, coming down. Oh, that's a flush, baby. Oh, is that to take out the stops? That's the only thing I'm wondering. Oh my gosh. How's the dollar liking that? Dollar's actually reacting down. Yeah, see it. That is some little bit of volume for a 1 minute. It could be scalp. Could be profit taking and scalpers. You're outside of a weekly expected move and a daily. So this is a great move, great squeeze. People riding it up. Could just be, hey, downside move. But you would say, okay, that happened in IWM and the DIA first. Now it's happening SPY. Now it's happening Qs. Qs. See if it's to take out stops. Ooh. Companies that might have growth, weirdly enough, GME, you don't really have a good inclination of how they are going to grow just yet, but AMC is just producing better numbers every week. Like genuinely, the news they put out last week for last weekend, good news, man. Curled up on a monthly. It's definitely worth like $14 to $22. But you got to know there's suppression there, so that's the first one that comes to mind. I'm just saying. But is it a good opportunity right now, like this second? Could curl down on that 30-minute. Most likely already has. So just so you're aware. Oh, okay, not too bad. Trying to get a little bit of green. But you did confirm down on the 30-minute for AMC. That is leaning towards a 2-hour 2 pullback. The 2-hour has not confirmed yet. And don't worry, because Roaring Kitty is going to tweet after hours today. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I do not know. But I would think that's hilarious. Tesla climbed by 1%. I'm just focusing on the SPY, just letting you guys see that. I'm gonna check other stuff here. There you go, Tesla climbing. 2-hour might confirm for Tesla. Tesla given the swing trade signal at the end of the day here on 2 indicators, not the third. DJT is still holding the cross up. Mara gave that shit up, man. Mara has 2-hour triple divergence. Watch for a daily pullback for Mara. Watch for a daily pullback for SoFi. Okay, this is fine. We know it's dropping. I'm going to click around. I'm going to show you guys this because we got 3 minutes left. Okay, SoFi. SoFi, 2-hour chart. That's a bad signal. All right, this is a bad signal for SoFi. Just want you to be aware of it. It hasn't crossed yet. That is a form of weakness. We do have the opportunity to make a 30-minute divergence, but you might still have that across the way because you only have one curl down, one curl up. Very obvious there. If that 30-minute crosses in 2 minutes, might be a little troublesome. AMC, wanted to talk about that on the 30-minute real quick because that has confirmed the divergence there. That is leaning towards a 2-hour pullback. Mara, I want you to be aware of this. If that 2-hour crosses next week, daily pullback is on the table. All right, let's look over at Bitcoin real quick just to check on it. We noticed that wick coming in. 2-hour turns down. That's not going to be a good sign. All right, so this could be a liquidity grab to head lower. Even for Bitcoin, it could just be a sell point for some people. They want to pump it up to here to get to that high, sell it off. All right, we'll see because this the 4-hour does have divergence that did complete. You curled up, you curl down on a 4-hour, you're going into a negative trend. That means the bigger daily pullback can start to happen. So a lot of things looking fishy going into the weekend. Be careful with it. DJT still curled up on a 2-hour, trying to really hold itself right now. We do see SMCI just starting to flush a little bit, still in 2-hour pullback mode. NVIDIA, if it crosses up on a negative bar, I'm not happy with it. If it crosses up and it's like down, which this bar is negative 0.05, it still could be an opportunity. Yeah, it always can, but that's something I watch out for. It just convinces me like, hey, wait for something more clear. SPY, let's click back over to that. Look at that on a 30-minute. Look at that coming back into the weekly expected move. So that was the target for today. Or, you know, people tried to short this thing and they squeezed them for a bit. Taking a lot of people's money there. And then we got 10 seconds. Are we just taking out stops to keep squeezing? Or are we going to curl down over the weekend? All right, we have the trap could be there. This could be the start of, this is like the lamest way to kind of end. You'd really like to see this at least give 2 bars of weakness to give you a hint. So weirdly enough, going into Monday, you don't necessarily have an answer of, is this going to be a new trend that can maybe do something here, right? The thing we would say is you would like a pullback to head higher for the 30-minute at least, but you notice the divergence did hold here. If we blow it up, let's go to futures for a little bit while we talk about it. We can see the 2-hour did go up there, and look at that wick there. If this 2-hour does cross down over the weekend with some bad news, that could get a little bit rough. You are holding the divergence really well still on the RSI. Coming down. Ooh, just barely not getting it there for the RSI. So be cautious out there. Have a great weekend. Look, at the end of it all, money, all that good stuff. Hey, people matter the most, right? Wife, kids, family. That's why we do these things. That's why we sit in front of a computer all day, is to be able to afford to pay for our families and help them and help the people around us, and then end up having some fun as well. So I encourage you to have some fun this weekend. I genuinely do. The one thing I would say is, even if you're going to have fun all weekend, hey, think about getting that course. If you want to dedicate yourself to some learning, it is at a 90% discount, and it ends on Sunday. Now, quick note, if you are really thinking about it and you're new here and you're thinking about it, well, we do like to extend the course sales to the next live stream. Okay, so on Mondays, especially when it ends on a Sunday, we like to extend that to the next live stream. So I can't remember Monday. Pretty sure Monday is open, but so the next live stream will be when you can come in. You can really ask questions about it. We'll really dig into it if you have questions, and then you can see if you still want to get that course during the live stream. Okay, guys? But thank you guys so much for joining. I really do appreciate it. You guys are fantastic as always. Today was a lot of fun. Bunch of people in here, very active. Everyone really has a good attitude in here, trying to figure out what's going on, and I think that's fantastic. The questions were great today. We didn't get the best hints in the world going into next week. Maybe we need to pop over and see what volatility is turning down on the 2-hour. So that would actually say, hey, we can squeeze to 12.12. So be open to that. But we also want to be open if this 30-minute just curls up, okay? So it's shut down towards the end of the day. So this is leaning a little bit like a squeeze. I want to be very clear about that. This is leaning a little bit like a squeeze. But we have the setup to where if something bad happened over the weekend, we could see some bad price action. So I think it's very important over the weekend. Yeah, get to learning, hang out with family, but also just tune into the videos, okay, guys? We try not to make them too much of a thing, right? Over the weekend, we want you to have fun, but it's good to just keep your brain going and be aware of what's happening out there with the signals. So we'll be putting out a video tomorrow morning. I will be putting out the weekly expected moves on Patreon on Sunday, and an update video for the week ahead with the weekly expected moves for the SPY and the Qs on Sunday as well. Completely for free. All you got to do is show up to the YouTube, show up to my YouTube channel on Sunday, find that video, get that video, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and you get those weekly expected moves on your charts each week, all right, for the SPY and the Qs. Want a few more? Got to join the Patreon. Monthly expected moves will come out Sunday as well, so be on the lookout for that, Patreon members, and I appreciate you guys. I am thankful for you guys. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I need to go eat me some apple pie. Yeah, nice to meet you, Silent Ninja. If you play footy, you can come hang with me. We can play a game. I'll kick your ass sometime. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys. Have a great day. Have fun with family. Hopefully we manage risk well before this weekend, as the signals have potential, right? They haven't confirmed. They are a little risky, but we have kind of a situation where we could squeeze. We could see a downturn with some bad news over the weekend. So just hopefully we managed our risk very well. If you can't, hopefully you're doing that after hours right now. Thank you so much, Visionary Trader. Thank you guys for being here. YS, Michael. Looks like PLTA has no volume. Is the PLTA trading? It's going to be super light volume on a lot of stocks today. Doug TV, thank you for coming out. Blind Owl, thank you for coming out. Some names I don't normally see, and I love to see that. It seems market just refuses right now to turn it down. Hard to believe investors are buying at these levels. Jack Cats, I kind of agree with that sentiment. But we're going to pay attention to the signals and make sure they're confirming, right? Just because I think something doesn't mean it has to happen, and this market has surprised us again and again, but good thing we were paying attention to those reversal signals. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a great weekend. I'm waving. Wave back at your computer at me. Cool. Everyone have a good weekend. I'm going to go hang out with my niece and nephew, maybe go kick the soccer ball around. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Saturday videos come out in the morning, by the way. Saturday video comes out Saturday morning. Sunday, I try to put it out relatively early as well. Peace out, guys.